without a warning. Misty hills and dark red mountains traumatize broken. Lonely boat on cold still water, locked in tower, only daughter, lock the doors that want to open, a pool of tears. Walking in the shadows, landscapes, the things I want to escape, knowing full and well I'll stay connected with my health. Stillness over the water, the traumatized, heavy waters. I used to be so young and free, but now I'm bound by the bonds that be. I know what I should do, and I've known it for a long time, and I've only got to do. Rain is falling, my choices be forced, leading by the water, seashore set the sails lower, the bridge, the princess still is sleeping. Serene, unearthly winds are blowing, stones and dirt and clear eyes throwing. Clarity has vanished like some last breath on earth. Breathe my name. Breathe my name. It has been said, it's just a phase, like a rare smile on my face. I know what I could be, and I did struggle with destiny, and I get through. No wonder I feel blue. I once had a dream before, standing on the chessboard floor, marble pillars, Albus castle, clopping hooves approaching. Tarot card above the churchyard, down before my life got hard.
That's an definitely an interesting start to a stream. Apologies for that, but yeah, welcome along to NXT, ladies and gentlemen. To NXT, the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Well, the longest ever race we've had here in Next Step Racing. And, well, the biggest one as well, over 40 cars expected. Gotta find, there it is. So, cannot leak. Obviously cannot leak anything, the password here. So, having some connection issues, it seems. Ah, there we land. So, qualifying's underway for the LMGT3 class. So, short run-on of all the cars we have. We have 11 of the LMGT3 variety, 12 LMP2 race cars, and 9 hypercars. So, coming out of the pit lane, gotta find some. We got our first Porsche entry ever here in NXT today on track. Yeah, there. So, Corey Jason, the championship leader, having a moment out of the pit lane. Looks like too much damage, but I expect him to come to the pit lane. Then we have Elderic St. Jules, his teammate, third in the World Drivers' Championship. Followed by Roland Dozer, who's currently fourth. Then we have Edward Penner, P6, I recall, out of Mauro Lataio, who won last time out in Monza. Sadly, no stream there. Because simply I was away. Then we have Pelagos Jr., the BMW reserve driver, taking the main seat in the 82 Corvette, which has been unmanned for the entire race. Then we have Pechamore, one of the special entries here in number 66 Ferrari. Andrew Taylor, after Bahrain, finally back on track. And then we have Isaac Busby, the former Peugeot hypercar pilot, now piloting LMGT3 machinery. And then in the pits we have Baron Morris Hodges. Some may recognize him as my former co-commentator. I'm gonna have a co-commentator as well. I think it's planned that Raman Hamchet is gonna join me in the commentary box. My mic is too quiet. Is it better now? Or I'm at max volume already. Does it work now? I'll need to pull a test myself. Max volume already. Okay, this should work now, I hope. If not, it's gonna be you, Mohammed. So I'll come a bit closer to the microphone as well. Now we shall see what's gonna happen next. We also have Jazz Whitfield in the first ever Porsche entry here in NXT, the number 92 car from Manti PX Racing, the car that won the World Championship of the GT3 class in real life. Little fun fact about that, as we now got Roland Dozer in the McLaren leading the LMGT3 field. You don't have a lot of time to set laps here. As a GT3, the lap is about 4 minutes long, so with a 15-minute window, you have this out lap, and then you have about two runs you can pull off, maybe 3, but you'll have to take a lot of fuel and tires. This track, it's kind of a tire killer. The rear is not that bad, but obviously the lap times are so long. And especially these LMGT3 cars will struggle a little bit to get their times off, so you need a good lap. You need to be focused here. So, in the LMP2 class, we have the 183 called Edward Cockhill. And we have Jake Van Leeuwen for Prema. Walter Dunk, also a special, special entry. The Inter-Europol's new driver in the number 34 car. And we have Jasper Kuismanen in the number 9 Prema car, the championship leader. Then Cameron Thompson in the number 47 CLX Racing. Robert English in the number 28 Hertz Team Jota car. Jaden van Ravenstein in the number 14 Spike car. And then we have Alphonse Velin in well, it's the other Team Jota car, number 28, Ronald Martinez in the number 22, Mike Kraft in the number 32, and Aaron Venter in the number 37 LMP2 car. And then we have our grid of hypercars, the largest we've had all season, with Thomas Robertham in the 94 Peugeot, then Norbert Precker in the 51 for Ferrari, who won out last time around in Monza. Omar Ali, championship leader. He could theoretically close it out all today here in the number 5 Porsche. Number 93 Peugeot, piloted by Nico Lillienkamp, ahead of the number 2 Cadillac of Ashton O'Dong. I am pretty sure I did not pronounce it correctly, so my deep apologies here. Humid Korkmaz in the number 50 Ferrari, A of course, and Charles Anton with the number 36 Alpine. Thomas Varkish in the number 99 Proton Porsche, and then finally Ferrari A of course driver Mohamed Colombo in the number 83 A of course car, as we now see Roland Dozer, first one to complete a lap. He's currently flying down the Mulsanne straight, as we see a little bit of struggles here maybe for Edward Panau, who's currently up behind Elderic St. Jules. That's definitely suboptimal for both of their lap times, as Lamborghini is definitely stuck behind that Lexus. Neither wants to give up the track position because it's definitely going to cost them a bit, but it seems like Edward Panau has a little advantage. Lamborghini is fairly quick on the straight, but the Lexus is not a slow car either. But I think he's just pulled ahead. Yes, indeed, Edward Panau. Definitely neither of them is going to have a good lap time here around. Unlike Roland Dozer, who's currently up ahead, and he has an all-clear track up in front. So he could very much pull up pretty good lap time here. Apologies if I'm having to switch between some tabs. But I do have okay. So I think I don't think I have missed anything with this chord. So back to what's happening on track. Hello Timo. Welcome to the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Arda Illan sadly missing in the number 777 Aston Martin. Looking at the sector times at the moment, the quickest of them all seems to be Isaac Busby in the number 31 BMW, as Roland Dozer loses the rear of that McLaren car into the Porsche curves. Oh, he's gonna be back on track. Gets that car off the ideal line. So the first car that'll complete a lap time is Edward Panau in the number 60 Iron Lynx Lamborghini. This beautiful Le Mans color, this beautiful Le Mans special colorway. He's been running it all season. Now the Iron Lynx Lamborghini flying over the curbs. We're not going to see that car in Split 1 for next season, but we're definitely going to see it. We're definitely going to see the Iron Lynx livery on the Mercedes car. Is now Edward Panau locks in the first time of the day, and it is a 4 minutes 10.9. There's definitely a lot of time to find for these drivers, but I mean, both of them lost a couple of seconds while fighting each other. So Let's look at Busby. He is currently sitting P1. Definitely the quickest of them all. Thatcher Moore P3. Palkus Jr. P4 in number 82 Corvette. Whitfield and Morris just haven't come out yet. Also, driver Omar Latayo has binded into the pit lane. Or not binded, but he has lost the BMW car. That is about 4 minutes remaining. And that means that drivers that come out now will have one more shot at getting a lap time done. And they'll need to hurry up. Latayo taking some new fuel, some new tires. Probably gonna see him out, but I don't see any sign of Whitfield or Morris Hodges. Let's have a look at Edward Panner. He's 1/10 down on Isaac Busby in the first sector. It's definitely a very tactical sector, and it's by far the shortest sector of the track as well. And we'll definitely see what he has up his sleeve here. It's number 60 car. Creeping down the straight. It's roughly 280 kilometers an hour. That is the absolute top speed of a GT3 car. And these specs maybe a little bit lower. What the fuck is this camera angle? Flying through Indianapolis. Touching the curb there. Could have gone a little bit wide on the exit now. Into one of the harder braking zones of this track. It's very easy to spin the car here or to lock up and go straight on. He's barely down on current pole position by Isaac Busby. With a good last sector here, Edward Panner could maybe jump to provisional pole position if he holds this lap together. I think this is the sector where you can find or lose the most, because it's very, very hard to take this sector good, but he does so. It's looking like an all solid lap for Edward Panner. Now onto the final bit of straight before the double chicane, the infamous double chicane here in Le Mans. Onto the brakes in a couple of meters, then down into third gear for the first of the two chicanes. Don't take too much curb or you spin down to second gear. And onto the throttle he goes. Don't go too wide. He doesn't. What's it going to be for Edward Panner? It's going to be a 1.76. Only 1.3 seconds off. What is Alaric St. Jules? Oh no, that's a wrong one. There's Alaric St. Jules. It's only P3 for him. Let's have a look at Thatcher Moore. Roland Dozer jumps P3. But no one's quite getting to Isaac Busby as he now locks in a 4-4. 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Now, what is the number 66 car gonna do? Over the line he comes, and for Thatcher Moore, it's an improvement to a 4.8, provisionally P3. Let's check who's on an outlap. It's Corey Jason, but I don't think he's got the time in. I don't think he might get the time if he gets over the line before the clock hits 30 minutes to go. He's allowed. So we're checking all of the LMP2 race cars. We hear some of them. Yes, indeed we have. We hear some of them coming out of the pit lane. Corey Jason has about 30 seconds to go. He's definitely gonna make it now into the chicanes. And Corey Jason will be allowed to set another lap time. Andrew Taylor will probably make it as well. He's got 10 more seconds to go, as well as one chicane. It's going to be really close for Edward Banner, for Andrew Taylor. At the clock hits, he has 3 seconds to go, and he's allowed to finish that lap time. Isaac Busby still on lap, Edward Banner on the map, Thatcher more on the lap. Ronald Dover, this fight is not over, not at all. But now Matthias pits. As we watch Pelagos Jr., the number 82 car, the other of the Corvette, but he's 15 seconds down, so that is probably done and over. Qualifying done and over for him. So now Thatcher Moore is 2/10 down on provisional pole position into the first of the Mulsanne corners. Corey Jason, the championship leading Lexus, 6/10 down on Busby. As we get the yellows. So last will be Andrew Taylor. Let's hope he doesn't get invalidated by the LMP2 race car here. But that car is just so much quicker down the straights than the Corvette. So I don't think he'll that he's gonna catch him. Pelagos Jr. has aborted his lap time. Let's look at Corey Jason once again. Championship leading Lexus, still 6 down. It's not enough. It could be enough for P2 because the gap between 1 and 2 is massive at the moment. And championship rival Mohamed Colombo is not there. Onto the throttle he goes. Now the second part of the famous Mulsanne Straight, as we might see the hypercar qualifying might play out in the dark. We're gonna have a 24-hour cycle packed into 2.4 hours of racing. It's the longest ever race we've had here in NXT, and that means, for me, at the moment, this qualifying started at 7, which means we're gonna be here all the way up until 10. Because this will finish in about half an hour. Which does mean we have 2.4 more hours to go, and we have no secondary commentator, so it's just gonna be me, maybe Ramanakis, and you guys. We actually have some confirmation that the track is damp. Busby extends his margin on pole. The LMP2 car's going by. That is Ronald Martinez. So, these will be the last 2 people that will complete a lap time. For Corey Jason, it is gonna be it's a damp track, by the way. So the conditions are not ideal. Corey Jason puts, it's only gonna get worse from now on, puts his Lexus onto P4. So that's it for the LMGT3 qualifying. Let's look Norschler for the LMP2 as he's having a moment. These cars struggling an awful lot more in the damp conditions. sports driver. Not too much. You can pull a Jack Aiken here. It's very easy to lose the car. Now these LMP2 cars making about 270, 280, maybe hitting the 300 kilometers an hour down the Multan straight. By the time he brakes for the first chicanes, he's at 295 kilometers an hour. Noah Schlur. Little wiggle there on the exit. And while we're at it, let's go. Where's the cycle? There it is. My bad. Okay, my bad. Apologies for that. Now see, we're riding the nose of that LMP2 car now into Indianapolis. Up into second gear. Now another hard braking zone. It's very easy to lose the LMP2 here. IRL, the drivers are struggling like mad as well at some points. Up into sixth gear, and now you can see the Porsche curves. Doesn't look like the car is stable at all, and the tires are screaming for help as he throws that RK07 through the Porsche curves. The Corvette curves now, and he's being very, very, very hard with the car here. Now through the final corner. No, and he loses the car on the final corner. Very unfortunate. The tires are definitely not gonna like that, and that's possibly the worst position to lose your car, because not only is your lap done and dusted, still enough to go P1 overall. And yeah, that lost him an awful lot of time in the last sector. Let's look at the 183A, of course, LMP2. It's a special entry here for Le Mans. C-Locks in the 343. Let's go. Spectator number 34 Inter-Europol competition car of Walter Dunk, who's currently lighting the times purple. The timing screens. Reventa Minecraft complete their respective lap times. Actually not yet. Apologies. Little bug here. Definitely disconnected. Oh, never mind. Now it's working. There's a Prema car. That is provisionally P1 for Walter Dunk. A 141.0. There's definitely a lot of time to find here for these drivers. That is an outlap. I don't think there's anyone who isn't on an outlap at the moment. Spectating now Alphonse Vallon, one of the two Finnish drivers on the track in the number 28 Hertz Team Toyota car, currently P2 in the standings. And he is going to score all the points he would score today. Both of the Hertz Team Jota cars are gonna be able to score points, even though the car only had one entry. We're just gonna see it as a 29 car. 28's taken by, we're just gonna view Robert English as the 29 car. This car, the 28, it has 2 podiums this season, 2 unexpected podiums at Fuji. As Ariventa goes P3. Yeah, indeed, the grid is definitely looking a bit bigger. And yes, Lateo is indeed second in the LMGT3 standings after his win in Monza. Hans Vellen 1/10 down. He's now going to pick up a lovely slipstream behind Cameron Thompson in the number 47 CLX car. And this is currently the best sounding car in the game in my opinion, but that is going to change for, yeah, obviously next season. But if this was one day earlier, we probably would have seen the Aston Martin Valkyrie as well as the number 60 and 61 Iron Lynx Mercedes. But well, it is what it is, no Valkyrie. At least we got a Cadillac on the track today. This is the biggest ever hypercar grid we have. We have 9 hypercars, which is fairly decent considering we don't have much more entries, and now Alphonse Vellen is getting caught up behind Cameron Thompson. That's not going to help his lap time. And he doesn't have much time to go. He can definitely go for one more lap. But the gap to the drivers up in front is definitely big. He's shown confidence around this track with a potential lap time of 3 minutes and, well, 35 seconds. Let's see if he can replicate this in these dumpish night conditions. He's definitely quicker despite getting held up by Cameron Thompson. I think the slipstream is definitely playing in Alphonse Vellen's favor here. Now it should get even better, but now Indianapolis, it's a high-speed corner and you can definitely lose a lot of time here. He's getting up the rear of Cameron Thompson. Cameron Thompson moves to the inside line. Neither of them wants to abort their lap time, and Cameron Thompson, I think, kind of has to give up the position now. They're side by side. Alphonse Vellen is going to have the optimal line for the Porsche girls. We're seeing some fighting here in qualifying. Now Alphonse Vellen on the inside, Cameron Thompson on the outside. Vellen goes around the outside of Cameron Thompson into the Porsche curves. Keep in mind, boys, this is qualifying and Cameron Thompson hits the wall on exit. Flashing the lights. Not happy about that. So it's Mauro Lateo. Something like this. Hans Vellen going onto the grass. That fight definitely cost him a lot of time, which results in being 5 tenths down on pole position. You can definitely see in the last sector that he was over a second slower there. Provisional pole. Jaden von Ravenstein, the number 14, the Spike. Currently lighting the sectors purple. Walter Dunks in the pits. He's not going to complete another lap. Neither is Abbott Coggle. Harry Venter. Let's watch Jasper Kuismanen, who's having a moment in Sector 1, the championship leading car. Number 9 for Prema. Could close it all out here today, but I don't think that's... I don't think it'll help him to slide around like this. They are still forecasted haven't had a lap time. Ronald Martinez not going to get a lap time off. And he's 6/10 down on Walter Dunk. We're still holding P1, holding onto that P1. Let's watch the other drivers. James van Ravenstein lost a lot of time there in Sector 2. Alphonse Valin lighting the times purple. This could be a pole position for Hertz Team Jota or Hertz Team No Practice, as they call themselves. Let's watch in for the time being. He's over 1 second up in the second sector. The hypercars now. Track is green for them, so the hypercars are gonna now roll out onto the track, the flagship category. Let's watch Alphonse Valin. What's it gonna be? He's gonna be the last driver. I think James van Ravenstein loses it on the final turn. Goes over the line. It's definitely not an improvement for him. Goes back into the pit lane. We have Ari Venter also in the gravel. Jasper Kuismanen and Alphonse Valin. I think Alphonse Valin is ahead on track. Let's stick with him through the Porsche curves. No, not yet. Quite yet. Now it's through the Porsche curves for Alphonse Valin. Throwing the Hertz Team Jota car through these fast left and right corners now, the Corvette curves. Now it's the final 2 corners, or the final 4 corners for that matter, for Alphonse Valin over the curb of the first of the chicanes and goes wide. Oh, that is an invalid lap time, and I think that's it for him. Yes, indeed. Oh no, it was on for pole position. He actually got it by the game. So it seems to be legal. Jasper Kuisman, P5 only for the championship leader. Mike Kraft, P4. Well, that was unexpected. Well, will that be an invalid lap time for Alphonse Valin? We'll see, but now let's watch the hypercar category, as these 9 prototypes are out on track now. Leading them is Thomas Varkish in the number 99 Proton Porsche. One of 2 Porsches on track tonight here. Reese Webber sadly not taking part due to a vacation. We got 3 Ferraris, 2 Peugeots, 1 Alpine, and 2 Porsches, and 1 of the Cadillacs. And you can hear it in the background already. Gosh, it's just a lovely noise. The number 2 car this time around, that the only car in hypercar that hasn't been out all season, because, well, no one really liked the Cadillac at all. Maybe Odom can I have no idea how to pronounce some of these names. I'm sorry if I'm doing something wrong. But at the moment, it's Varkish ahead of Robert Ham, the 2 Thomas. Robert Ham maybe getting caught up a little bit behind that Proton Porsche, but he's going to have the straight line advantage in that Peugeot to zoom alongside the Porsche. I think Varkish gaining 8 now. The toes coming into play. Thomas Varkish moving to the outside. Robert Ham is going to take the inside. And I think he's 1 car length ahead almost. They're now flying down to the first of the Mulsanne corners. And it's Varkish that backs out before. He's now going to have a better run on the exit. It's definitely race on here already in qualifying. But I think Thomas Robert Ham's got the advantage. But the Porsche is it's the Persia might have no rearing, but it's not like the Porsche has absolutely no chance in a straight line. But I don't think it's enough for Thomas Varkish to get back ahead of Thomas Robert Ham. Now breaking into the second of the Mulsanne chicanes, almost touching each other. Who's got the better run down out of the chicane? I think it's Thomas Varkish, but Robert Ham's no rearing is definitely going to help him. And now they're going to go side by side into Indianapolis. I think Varkish stays behind. Might see a little bit of bump drafting. I don't know why they would. Oh, but Robert Ham off into the gravel, and that has basically settled it. It's now nighttime here at Le Mans for qualifying. And don't know what now. So for Varkish now through the second, through the Mulsanne corner now, and that is the way onto the final sector and into the Porsche curves. Spent over 1 minute in that sector, and in LMGT3 it's almost 2 minutes in that second sector. But in the hypercar you top the 200 miles an hour here. Robert Ham is gaining back on Varkish, even though he went through gravel. He's looking like he's got some time. Maybe if I was him, I'd back out a bit now and give Varkish some time to run away, so neither of them will have their lap time invalidated. The 963 car of Thomas Varkish, Porsche 963 of Thomas Varkish now to the line. What's going to be a good hypercar time is usually in the 23s something. Thomas Varkish 28. Keep in mind those tires are not very warm, plus that little fight they had definitely didn't help. The Cadillac of Ashnildong in P4. Mohamed Colombo tops. That is the number 83 of course car. 26.9 tops the leaderboard. Nico Lillienkamp alongside Thomas Robert Ham. Yeah, that is Norbert Tracker in the pit lane. We have Charles Antoine with. It definitely hasn't been a good lap time for him, as he's 10 seconds down in the first second. Definitely balanced, but here he is. That is the man that is currently leading the championship. Omar Ali. He could close it all out today. He just needs to outscore Norbert Precker by one singular point. And seeing this man's pace, I think he definitely has got it in the back. He's won 2 races out of 4 we had thus far, and the other 2 he finished in P2. So Porsche Penske Motorsport is looking very, very strong. To Ferrari, of course, still on their outlaps. Omar Ali, that is an outlap as well. He's been very confident in himself, even scratching the 322s here. Keep in mind with the current conditions and, well, the fact that it's night, it's definitely not going to be a 22. But We'll see what he's got in that 963. He's been very confident. Even got the Porsche special livery for the 75th anniversary, which was 2 years ago in Le Mans. In real life Le Mans. Not now in 2025, of course. We're gonna have the 2025 cars in Season 2 as well. Really looking forward towards that season. Now let's watch Omar Ali. Flying down. Flying through the first sector. And it's such a lovely looking car. Now onto the Mulsanne straight. It's a straight that's over. It's not the longest straight in motorsports, but it's definitely one of the top 3 straights. The longest being the Döttinger Höhe on the Nürburgring. But oh well, it's not like we are going full throttle the entire Mulsanne. We have these 2 chicanes. Omali's definitely throwing that Porsche, and it's very close with Mohamed Colombo, who is currently in the pits alongside Thomas Robertham. I don't think either of them is going to have the time to complete the lap. I mean, theoretically they are. Mohamed Colombo is coming out now. I don't know about Thomas Robertham. He's also coming out now. Let's hop back with Omar Ali. For a second off the chicanes. That is the problem if you stay in the pits for that long. You don't have a lot of time. He's gonna have the time to complete these and potentially one more lap. So we have a yellow flag. Wasn't he off the Ferrari? Never mind. It wasn't him. Okay, I think it was the Alpine of Charles Antoine Whip. I don't think he's gonna go out again. I think he's got the time to go out again, but let's watch Omar Ali 3/10 up on the time of Mohamed Colombo, whereas Nico Lilienkamp puts a number 93 Peugeot into P2. Still 1.2 seconds off the lead. It's looking like a close fight between the top 2 right now, but this is definitely a section where there's a lot of skill involved. Let's see what Omar Ali is able to replicate here. We've got 2 more minutes to go. He's gonna have the time to do one more lap, but has he got the tires? Has he got the fuel? Has he got the virtual energy? And has he got the spirit to do one more lap? I think he does. Looking at the virtual energy. Yeah, he does. He should have. Omar Ali to the line. And it is P1 on the board. Over 1.8 seconds. 1.8 seconds quicker than Mohamed Colombo. He's currently still on his outlap, and that is so weird to see. I think he's the only one. Let's look at Norbert Precker. And number 51, A of course Ferrari. Second in your championship standings, and the one who won last time around. He's the person that is likely gonna stop. He's likely the only person that is able to stop the Porsche of Omar Ali. Oh, and we have had someone off. I think, yeah, that is Thomas Robertham, the number 94 car, into the pits. Oh, Precker, it's looking like a decent lap, but not a lot more. Maybe enough for P2. Hemut Korkmaz has anyone DNF'd. Ash Nodong currently in the pit lane. Thomas Robertham in the pit lane. That's P6 and P5 for them. Thomas Varkas currently sitting in P4. Nico Lilienkamp in P3. So it's going to be a 1v1. Looking at these times, I think we can expect as Human Korkmaz into the gravel he goes. He's not going to be able to complete that lap time. Norbert Precker will have one more shot, I think. It's definitely going to be really close for the number 51A, of course, car. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. With 2 seconds to go, he's able to do one more lap. Thomas Varkish up in front. Human Korkmaz will start at the back of the grid. We have Omar Ali against Mohamed Kalamba, and Omar Ali is absolutely flying right now in that Porsche 963. It could be in the 24s. Maybe he could find some time into the 23s, which I thought would be very, very good. Now into Indianapolis. The 963 goes. Doesn't look too stable. Mohamed Kalamba 2/10 down in sector 1. Now approaching the end of sector 2. I'll have an eye on him. It's one of his favorite tracks, he says. Norbert Precker P7 into the pits. It's no. So it's definitely between these two. Is it going to be Mohamed Kalamba? Or is it going to be Omar Ali? Kalamba is making his way out of the Mulsanne corners, out of the Mulsanne chicanes. Still hasn't crossed the sector yet. Omar Ali, the championship leading Porsche, has a little moment there out of the final turn and doesn't stick to that lap. So is it Mohamed Kalamba going to be able to improve? He's 4/10 down on... It's so weird to not have sound. This is number 83, of course, car, don't get confused. Interesting. As actually, I just noticed Width has changed car from Alpine to Toyota. Number 7. Interestingly enough, that'll maybe have some consequences with it. Well, definitely, stewards will definitely have an eye on him. It's now Mohamed Kalamba. The very for the race, he's going to be in the 83A, of course, car. Through the final section of the track, you can find a lot of time here, but I don't think Mohamed can find that much. Maybe he can. Please prove us wrong, Mohamed. But I don't know if it's enough. He hasn't aborted yet, so he's got the confidence, it seems. Looking like a very good final sector there for Mohamed Kalamba. What's it going to be to the line? It's going to be a 25.87 tenths off that first sector. Just that middle section just didn't help him at all. Let's have a look at the session results. So Omar Ali gets pole in hypercar, with Alphonse Valin getting pole position in LMP2, pole in LMGT3 to Isaac Busby. But we're definitely going to see that on the grid. Speaking about the starting order, here you have your starting order. Omar Ali starts on pole position with another pole for Porsche. Then Mohamed Kalamba, oh my god, second place. Nico Lilienkamp in P3, Thomas Varkish in P4. What am I from my event? Okay, Thomas Rotterdam in P5 with Ash Noldong in P6. Then the 2A, of course, Ferraris of Norbert Precker and Human Korkmaz. The 51 ahead of the 50 with the LMP2 cars starting in row 5. Alphonse Valin ahead of Walter Dunk. Then Jaden van Ravenstein in P3 in the LMP2 class. Mike Kraft alongside Jasper Kuismanen ahead of Ari Venter. The one car we are seeing here right now. Edward Cockle ahead of Cameron Thompson. The number 47 car, a point scoring car. The 183, not so much. Noah Schlur P17 ahead of Robert English, the second of the Hertz Team Jota cars. Within the LMGT3 class, led by Isaac Musby and Thatcher Moore, 2 non-season entries. With Roland Doze ahead of Corey Jason in the number 87 Lexus. Edward Penner out of Eldring St. Jules in the other Lexus. Lexus currently having a comfortable lead. Ahead of Pelagos Jr. and Andrew Taylor, the 2 Corvettes finally together on one row. With Ronald Martinez having to start from the back of the grid, as well as Mauro Latayo. Ben Morris Hodges ahead of Jack Van Lera. And Charles Tony Wood ahead of Jess Whitfield. So we're gonna have a couple of cars that will have to fight their way through the field. Let's hope it all goes well, as we are now being led by the number 5 Porsche of Omar Ali to the biggest NXT race ever. 33 cars on the grid, waiting to get on the way. Omar Ali leads Mohamed Colombo. Omar Ali leads Mohamed Colombo ahead of one of Nico Lilienkamp and Thomas Varkish. First time ever we got all hypercar manufacturers on the grid, actually. Correction, all hypercar manufacturers that race this season. You got the yellow. Oh, there you got the Toyota lining up in the field of the hypercar class, having to start alongside Alphonse Valley, who leads the pack. So, 33 cars on the grids. To the right you have the Porsche, to the left you have the Ferrari. Porsche versus Ferrari on the front row. 2.4 hours of racing. One time, run around the clock, and we are on the way, and it's looking like a good start for Omar Ali. But everyone in Hypercar has had a decent start. In the back you can see the Spike already making up positions there. Omar Ali leads them down towards turn 1. Mohamed Colombo still sitting in second, Lilienkamp. Then in the Peugeot, 3 cars going off, 4 cars going off. Thomas Robert having a great start there. The 2 Peugeot side by side, and there's the Proton Porsche in the mix as well. Ferrari, decent start in Hypercar for everyone. No one has been lost on the opening lap, as we now have Ferrari against Cadillac. The V8 monster roaring down the back straight. The 2 prancing horses right behind. The 50 and the 51. The 50 now tucking into the slipstream. Human Corpus that is, and now both Ferraris up the Cadillac. And Human Corpus moves to the inside, making a move on his teammate. There's 1 Ferrari to the left, 1 to the right, 3 wide down the Mulsanne straight. The Cadillac has got the advantage down into the first of the chicanes. Who's gonna be ahead? It's looking like Hubert Corpus has a little straight line speed advantage. 2 Ferraris, 1 Cadillac. The Cadillac pulls out, 2 Ferraris taking it careful. There's Norbert Precker going off the road, and suddenly there's a chance for the Cadillac to strike back. Now into the toe of Hubert Corpus, still 3 wide. Ferrari still sticking in behind his teammate. Now the Cadillac of Ashton O'Donnell still trying everything to stay ahead of the 2 Ferrari cars. In the back you can see Edward Panner making this move, and I think Alphonse Vallin has lost out to Jaden van Ravenschaar, but what a start it was from that car, from that number 14 car, from 4th to 1st. What a start. But it's not over here up in front. It's still Ferraris. They're still hungry for the Cadillac, and it's the Cadillac trying to hold on against Hubert Corpus and Norbert Precker. Hubert Corpus to the inside of Indianapolis. He's trying to find a way. They're hard on the brakes for the Cadillac. 1 locked, but he still got it. And I think now we're somewhat settling down. Let's look at the LMP2 class, and there's Walter Dunk spinning off, and there is 1 car off, and I don't know who it was. It was Was it Robert English? No, it was Jake Van Laren, and it was Cameron Thompson who simply handled that moment there. In the LMGT3 cars, Edward Penner ahead of Isaac Busby. Edward Penner takes the lead in the number 60 Corvette. And the Porsche that started all the way in the back, is already up into 7th position in LMGT3. Andrew Taylor in P8. Corey Jason dropped away down to 9th. We have Mario Latayo and Ben Morris Hodges there in the back. And that is Ari Venter, last of the cars on track. Norschler has already retired on lap 1. Let's now look back at the front. There's Thomas Robingham putting the pressure on Mohamed Colombo through the Porsche curves. The Peugeot driver that has still 0 points in the championship. Going a little bit wide there, taking out a braking board. Mohamed Colombo seemingly feeling it, trying to get some heat into these tires. Yeah, the Peugeot is an absolute straight line speed monster down the Mulsanne. Omar Ali now not the best of exits there. There's the chance for the number 83 car. Mohamed Colombo getting a little bit too close there onto the brakes, having to cut a little. That's going to give him a track limit warning by the game. He's got 8 of these until he gets a drive-through penalty. We have a yellow flag. Is there someone tumbling down the aisle? That's Ari Venter trying to find his way through the LMGT3 field, as well as Ben Morris Hodges having a moment. Have they potentially come together? They're the last cars on the track, so it might be. This is not over. There's still Ferrari against Cadillac. The blue-nosed Cadillac trying to hold on against the pressure from the 2 Italian cars. In the back there's Charles Antoine Wynn. Number 7 Toyota Cadillac. And Ferrari door handle to door. Wait, they don't have door handles, but it's definitely side by side here. In the early stages of this race, we're seeing a lot of fighting as well. Now, looking at everything we have currently here, Busby leads in GT3. Melling has retaken the lead for Hertz Team Jota ahead of Walter Dunk, Mike Kraft and Jasper Kuismanen. Inter is running P2 and P3. It's now Norbert Precker trying to get ahead of the Cadillac of Ordon. I have no idea how that name is pronounced, I'm sorry. But up in front there's a train of 5 hypercars, all separated by roughly 1/10 in Formula 1. We would say they have a DRS. Obviously that's not a thing here in the WEC, in the NXT Sprint Series. Cadillac flashing lights indicating there's going to be a move coming up soon. Robert English currently sitting in P6. Hungary, trying to get to his teammate who's currently in P1. He's got Jane van Ravenstein, who had a mighty start in that Spike, number 14 Spike car. But now seemingly has fallen off a bit. And there, Jasper Kuismanen, currently in P4. I think he's had a moment there. The 2 Inter-Europol cars. Mike Kraft has overtaken Walter Dunk. Absolutely crazy pace Mike Kraft is showing here, and Inter running 2 and 3. That is the best ever they have been in NXT. Now in GT3 it's everything is somewhat calm, as now Andrew Taylor is feeling pressure from Mauro Latayo. I'm sorry for that name pronunciation. You gotta teach me how to do that. And Riedel stays ahead in number 81 Corvette. Marlatayo finds himself at the back of the LMGT3 field. If you exclude Ben Morris Hodges in the number 44 Mustang. Marlatayo smelling a chance. There's an LMP2 car. They're racing him for position every Venter. It was the car that had an accident on lap 1. Marlatayo not really fighting that. He knows that is never going to be his fight. The BMW getting out of the way. Is there anything happening at the moment? The 2 into Europol cars still side by side. No, Minecraft hasn't had the best of exits, and now there's the opportunity for Walter Dunk. I don't know how hard they'll be racing, considering they're currently dead last in the Constructors' Championship. They might want to think about the team game here and playing this together, the Polish team. I think that's a little bit of bump drafting, is it? No, it's just an optical illusion, I'm sorry. Oh, not the best of exit there for Minecraft, and now there's Walter Dunk up behind his teammates. Trying to find a way past Minecraft. There's the uneven part of the road. Rather stay in the middle, where it's definitely the better place to be. Now Minecraft is gonna have he's gonna hold on to that inside line. Minecraft now pulls in between Jasper Kuismanen and Walter Dunk into second place, whereas Alphonse Velling is flying, having 5 seconds of the gap already. Omar Ali up in front as well, leading by 2 seconds. This is the fight for a second. Still Thomas Rotham, who's holding on to the rear wing of Mohamed Colombo. And I have a slight feeling that this is gonna end in a little bit of a kerfuffle here for these boys, as we have someone struggling, it seems. Don't really know yet. Let's watch. Let's go back to these 5 boys. They're really going at it here. Thomas Wagner seemingly had to let go of the train up in front, so it's only Omar Ali leading Mohamed Colombo. Colombo, keep in mind, he's not going to score points, or Persia is going to pick up a P2 and a P3, which will definitely help them. And there's Human Korkmaz going wide, and that is the chance for the Cadillac to make up some ground and try to get into. There's number 7 Toyota, which also is debuting on track, actually. The number 8 car was on track already, has won the season opener with Nicholas Ulrich. Oh, but I'm definitely eager to see what they'll bring. 5 to 7 minutes into this race, and we've already had that much action. As Corey Jason now finds himself fighting out the order, overtaking his teammate Aldrich St. Jules, and that is Human Korkmaz, number 50 Ferrari. The next car is going to be Alphonse Velling, and he's approaching turn 1, so Human Korkmaz. Unlucky for him, he was having a decent time. But there's a bit of a hole in this train of 5. But Morris Hodges has decided to retire in the pit lane. Oh, as the 2 Corvettes have seemingly made contact. Oh, that is the worst scenario for Corvette. They're down in last in the LMGT3 standings, and I think Andrew Taylor, if you look at the front bumper of that Corvette, has a little bit of damage to the left. Not good for Corvette, definitely. Robert Ham still trying desperately to hold on to the rear of Colombo. Whereas now, Jasper Kuismanen finds himself under a little bit of pressure for Jaden van Rafstein. Alphonse Valley currently going way quicker than the cars out behind. Oh, this is going to be a long, long race. This LMP2 field is still very much in one big train. Only one of them, our eventer, is still down in the LMG field. The track map could definitely help out now. Let's look at the teams. From the Porsche Penske Motorsports. So Porsche Penske is going to score another win, 50 points being added, and that would make Ferrari the champion of NXT. Ferrari, of course, currently sitting P6 and P9. No points for Humid Koopmans at that rate. Never mind, actually it will be some points. The number 2 Cadillac, being an entry, will score points. Number 7 Toyota will score points. Number 99 Proto Competition will not score any points. It's going to be P7 for Humid Koopmans. Whereas Toyota is currently leading. And will pick up a lot of points here. Which is dangerous. Because it's a bunch of points if you win this one. 30 in total. And that is all they would need. Because Jake Van Laren is not already up there. Jaden Van Raven will not score any points. And neither will Edward Cocknell. But still, even finishes like this, Prema would have... Jasper Kuismanen has seemingly made a mistake. He's now down behind Cameron Thompson and now under pressure by Robert English, the second of the Jota cars. This is your fight for the World Constructors' Championship, Robert. Is what the team will probably tell him. But now he goes off onto the gravel. He's not too far back, so it's not too bad. Especially not here around Le Mans, you can make up a lot of time. Jasper Kuismanen closing up on the rear of Cameron Thompson. The CLX car having a little bit of troubles. Jasper Kuismanen now to the inside line. Will Thompson allow him to take that line? Kuismanen around the outside. Thompson's going to have the inside line. Jasper Kuismanen's now going to have the inside line onto the gravel. And there goes Kuismanen and Thompson. There was contact. And that is a horrible scenario for Prema, because not only is Alphonse Valley in P1, their number 1 driver finds himself now down in P9, and Jake Van Laren has DNF'd. So Prema at this rate will score 1 singular point. Jasper Kuismanen furious, flashing the lights, furiously saying, "What are you doing, mate?" Which does mean, on the other hand, that Alphonse Valley is currently has a 7-second gap to Walter Dunk. The rest of the field is fairly close. Let's look at the LMGV3 class. Isaac Busby, we haven't seen a lot of them. Of the LMGV3s, Isaac Busby still leading ahead of Edward Panna and Roland Dozer. Corey Jason currently in P4. He's complained a lot about his Lexus, saying he doesn't understand this car. We have Mauro Latayo ahead of the lone Porsche. It's good to see that car. Like, you cannot have GT3 racing and then not have Porsche on the grid. It really hurts to not see this car over a full season. The good thing is we'll see Manthai and Iron Dames next season with their respective cars on the track. Yeah. So, looking at the front, This is not the leading car. The leading car is 8 more seconds up the road. Omar Ali. But Mohamed Colombo not really getting away from the two Peugeots. Lilian Camp and Robert Ham can seemingly go the pace of that Ferrari car. And Robert Ham is closer than ever. 2/10 being the gap right now. Down to 1/10. He's probably not going to dive, and then there's the mistake from Mohamed Colombo into turn 1. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Robert Ham, he hasn't had the best exit either. So they will definitely be racking up the penalties here. Robert Ham now to the inside line. Just focus on the exit of that turn. Whoever has the better exit now out of this corner will have an advantage down the Mulsanne straight. Robert Ham pulling a little bit out, and I think Mohamed Colombo has maybe done enough to keep himself ahead of the Peugeot. You can see up the road there and going into the first of the Mulsanne chicanes is Omar Ali, and he's absolutely flying. There is the light flashing from the Peugeot. Colombo defends the inside line. Robert Ham's gonna have to go a long way around. Does he decide to stick to it? Oh no, he locks it up a little and loses the car. He's allowed to rejoin. There's an LMGT3 out the road being Andrew Taylor. Be predictable, and he is exactly that. And they have another GT3 up the road. And now Robert Ham smelling. He's gone for the inside line. Mohamed Colombo has it covered by going a little bit later onto the brakes. And there is the 82 Corvette that has Pelicus Jr. that has lost it into the wall. Might this be a retirement for the 82 car? Might be. We have lost 2 LMP2 prototypes and 1 LMGT3. Now Mohamed Colombo under huge amounts of pressure from Peugeot. It's beginning. Nighttime is calling. First of these headlights are going on. That is a horrible angle there, I see. Jeez. Mohamed Colombo now still ahead. He's just holding on to it ever so slightly. It's Minecraft. And Walter Dung is not really getting away from Minecraft. Over the gravel territories. More of the LMGT3, we have the Porsche coming. Also a lot of drivers streaming their race. There's now the 66 Ferrari, so you can definitely check them out. But that traffic is going to play into the cards of Thomas Robert Ham. He goes to the inside for turn 1. Colombo sticks to the outside line. Robert Ham and Colombo millimeters between the two of them. And there's a little touch as well, but Robert Ham is ahead. Has he outbraked himself? Maybe. Colombo goes round the outside with a beautiful defensive move on the Peugeot. Mohamed Colombo and Thomas Robert Ham putting an absolute masterclass of a show in these early stages of this race as we reach the 2 hours remaining here at Circuit de la South. Now is back in what Peugeot does best. Power, get the power down and fly, fly, fly. And he's gaining ever so slightly on the Ferrari. There's LMP2 traffic as well as LMGT3 traffic coming up the road every Venter. And he's still fighting his way through the LMGT3 field. And now Thomas Robert Ham defends the inside. Colombo goes for tries to go a little bit deeper. Goes for Thomas Robert Ham. Now they're going side by side down the Mulsanne. There's traffic up the road, side by side. The Peugeot and the Ferrari. The Peugeot is pulling that little gap ever so slightly, but the Ferrari is not absolutely defenseless. And now Robert Hammond has got LMGT3 traffic. They're still side by side. Colombo tries to go for the long way around. The LMP, they're not going to catch the LMP2 up until the next corner, but that's not going to play into the cards of Riedel. He's got a yellow flag. Now the LMP2 being overtaken by one, now two hypercars fighting for P2. Omar Ali meanwhile cruising out of front with 11 seconds of a gap. Oh, now Robert Hammond's gone deep, and there goes Colombo. An absolute masterclass of a fight. They got the Lexus of Corey Jason, the championship leading in LMGT3, to go around the outside. I think we're gonna have a classic. One to the left, one to the right. We're gonna see how Jason's gonna position that car. Oh my god, that is a horrible camera angle now. And Robert Hammond's getting. Oh my god. I had a slight heart attack there. Sorry. I don't know what the game was doing there, but now LMGT3 traffic. What is happening with the lobby? Hello. That is the worst possible timing. A bit of bumping here. Now it's getting personal, Robert Ham. And now we got all three classes meeting each other on the track. Lilian Kamp also zooming by the LMGT3 fight for P2. Now Robert Dozer against Isaac Busby. Seemingly made a mistake because Edward Penner is currently in the lead of the LMGT3 field. We have had a retirement. Back to the fight in LMGT3. Now Robert Hammer is 1 second clear of now Colombo. Now the other Peugeot is trying to get into the mix as well. Now Busby on the inside, Dozer on the outside. Has Busby done enough to get ahead? And what an elbow that was! That was right into the side of the McLaren. Maybe a miscalculation, maybe a sign to say, buddy, I am here and I do not like how you're handling me. Either way, it's definitely gonna be. That's definitely not gonna be it. There's a Proton Porsche of Thomas Varkisch on his former teammate in MGT3. There's no McLaren hypercar, so Varkisch has gone for the Porsche 963 from Proton competition instead. And now he's got Norbert Precker behind. He's not in Porsche Penske Motorsport, so he doesn't have to hold him up. But that number 51 car is the only car that could stop Omar out of here. But he's 26 seconds down on him as we now broke into the second hour of this race. And we got 2 more hours to go, guys. Defending the inside is the Proton Porsche. There's the leading car in LMGT3, being the number 60 Lamborghini of Edward Penner. Tracker into the back of Varkisch. Varkisch trying to fend off that Ferrari car. It's now Robert English has made Jaden Van Ravenstein going wide there. Has had a moment off. Cameron Thompson, Ronald Martinez, and Jasper Kuismanen all in one's reign. Championship leading Prema car. Currently on for 7th place. Or not a 9th place on track, but a 7th in regards of points. And now there's into the pit lane. The spike. Is this a retirement for the AL by TF Racing team? It might be, not entirely sure. It's Ferrari at the back. Human Korkmaz, he's been in the pit lane, so he's at the back of the LMP2 class right now. But Varkisch and Precker, this is getting personal slowly. Another fight is getting personal. I just almost missed that. It's a fight for P2. It's Isaac Busby, Roland Dozer, and Corey Jason all bunched up. Dozer now going for the inside line on Isaac Busby. And really pushing that BMW, trying to make space. GT3 racing at its finest. There, Busby on the inside of the McLaren. More banging doors. More banging doors. This has to go wrong if they keep it on like that. Varkish now flashing lights. There's Corey Jason now all of a sudden appearing on the scene. Going the long way around. There's a lot more room given by Varkish. So I think, not by Varkish, by Dozer. So I think this is rather personal between him and Busby. Up in front, Corey Jason trying to find a gap there, but the Lexus is a big car, and you cannot find a gap that easily. Varkish Dozer trying to let Busby know something, that this is not over yet, but he's now going to worry about the 87 car of Corey Jason. They're still in the championship fight there. In LMGP3, the fight is very close still. Corey Jason not happy in that Lexus, trying to... He already in talks with BMW for Season 2, I heard. And we will surely try to find another date for these races. Maybe on a Sunday. We're not entirely sure though yet. Because it's a definitely... it's a full schedule for me and for the other owners and drivers. Now Revent is still in that pack, in that GT3 pack. A race to forget for the CLX Racing team. So, looking at the hypercar grids, looking at the results, currently Omar Ali leading hypercar by 12 seconds to Thomas Robertham, who's another 2.2 seconds up the road of Mohamed Colombo. Then Nico Livian comes 3.3 seconds behind that Ferrari A of course car in P4. It has settled down for the hypercars. Thomas Varkish and Alan Precker still fighting it out. The background, you can see Precker now going around the outside of Varkish and has cleared the Proton Porsche for now. Then we have Ashnell O'Donnell in the... I have no idea how to pronounce that name, I'm sorry. Ian Amateur Cadillac sitting in P7, and Charles Anthony Wimth in last place, in penultimate place in hypercar. As Alphonse Velling is leading LMP2 by 13 seconds to Walter Dunk, who's 3.4 seconds, seemingly finding some pace now in the 9 hours ahead of Mike Kraft, his teammate. Then Robert English in P4 for Team Jolter, a huge chunk of points for Team Jolter coming their way. Then Edward Corkle in the A of course car, right behind them Cameron Thompson fighting Jasper Kuismanen and Ronald Martinez down in 6th place in LMP2. Jaden van Ravenstein currently in P9. In between there's the Ferrari of Umut Kalkmaz that had to box several laps ago due to damage. Then there's Edward Penner ahead of Isaac Busby. Roland Dozer. Then Harry Venter still trying to find his way through the GT3 traffic ahead of Corey. Roland Dozer, ahead of, there, Roland Dozer, Corey Jason, Mario Latayo, Aldrich St. Jules, Thatcher Moore, Jess Whitfield, Andrew Taylor, and then the 14S of Pelicus Jr., Jake Van Leeuwen, Ben Morris Hodges, and Noah Schleur. Yeah, there you have it. There are your class leaders, Ali, Velin, and Pena. And now it's calming down, other than these two who are still throwing hands here in the night hours of at the 2.4 hours of Le Mans here in NXT. We're about half an hour into this race. And we got almost 2 hours to go. And I think we'll see the first stops in the next couple of laps. It will be a 2-3 stopper, something like this. So definitely a bit of strategy here involved, here and there. It's now the Collision Cup is losing time to but that last sector wasn't it. And Thomas Robertham roughly going the same pace as Omar Ali right now, but Omar Ali 12 more seconds up the road. So unless he makes a huge mistake, I don't think that we're gonna see a lot of these. Now Norbert Precker and the Porsche of Thomas Markic, I think. Pardon. It's, oh my god, that is the Proton Porsche off, and there was, I don't know if there was contact or if it was just a mistake. That will definitely be. Hello Raman, welcome to Le Mans. Was just talking about the current situation in all the classes. Currently we are having Robert English being chased. Also hi to Eric. We have currently Robert English being chased now by Edward Cockle. Now the LMP2 cars find themselves lapping the LMGT3 class. That is number 66 Ferrari getting out of the way for Robert English. He's still running P4. It's not a bad day for its Team Jota. And yeah, it's not a good day for Prema. One of the cars in the garage and the other down in 8th position. Mods, can we ban this guy? This Eric guy? In yeah, in 8th position, which equals a 1-4 for the Hertz Team Jota. And, well, that is two total points scored for Jasper Kuismanen. Which would mean that the Hertz Team Jota car, Alphonse Vellin, is gonna take the lead in the championship. I think it is, or at least it's gonna be very close between Alphonse Vellin and Jasper Kuismanen, but hey, we still got about 110 minutes to go, so I wouldn't write off anything. The track is fairly clean right now. In this little battle here, as Thomas Markic is scanning on Norbert Precker in hypercar. That last lap he got about 2 tenths closer. But that first sector, Norbert Precker extended that gap to 5 more tenths. Whereas Omar Ali currently absolutely dominating the hypercar field by 13 seconds of a gap to Thomas Robertham and Mohamed Colombo in P3. Looking at the fastest laps, it is a 3:27.0 for Omar Ali, and it is a 3:27.7 for Thomas Robertham. Those are the only two drivers that are in the 27s. Other than that, every driver is in the 28s or lower. think Robert English now pulling away from Edward Cockle. Keep in mind, Edward Cockle is not going to score points since he's not a full season entry for AF course. But you know, maybe he'll race in Season 2 in the LMP2 split. Definitely missed the LMP2s in the top splits. But there's a reason the WEC got rid of them, because there's so many hypercars and people that main, for example, the BMW or the Alpine are not able to compete in their car, in the car of their choice. So it's definitely okay. As Isaac Busby is being chased by Corey Jason. He's now overtaking Ron Dozer in the McLaren. Looking at the current situation, Walter Dunk closing the gap to Alphonse Vallin. Ever so slightly, but Vallin has made a big mistake in the last second because he was 1 second off. Walter Dunk there, so I'm just saying there is still a lot of laps to go and there's a lot of opportunities as well that will be here. So we have two people in the pit lane, that is Thomas Varkish and it is no, not Odong. I still have no idea how to pronounce that name, I'm sorry. The only fight that is currently going on is the fight for the between Robert English, who's now off the road, and that allows the chance for Edward Cockle to sneak through. Now Robert English is going to have to try to get back, try and get to his teammate of Alphonse Vallin. Fast lap times, Robert English and Edward Cockle are basically absolutely equal. As I said, it's a long track, it's a difficult track, and I won't ride off anybody. There's definitely a lot of momentum that Robert English has now coming out of Indianapolis corner. And they're now making their way towards the Porsche curves. Throwing that kind. We got a yellow somewhere around the track. It might be in the LMGT3 class. As Thomas Rotherham has put the car to a stop. The Peugeot, which was running in second place, has decided to bring the car into the pit lane. Whether there was some kind of damage he got or whatever, but he is in the pits. Now it's unfortunate. Well, that opens the podium to Mohamed Colombo and Nico Lilienkamp. Well, interesting. As we know, both inter-Europol competition cars into the pit lane, as well as Edward Cockle, which means we have a Hertz Team Jolter 1-2. Alphonse Vallin leading the class ahead of Robert English. It's a Hertz Team Jolter 1-2 currently. But yeah, they'll definitely have to pit both of them. But if they actually can make it around the track one more time, that would definitely be a big advantage in the end, because a lap, even 2 laps less here around Le Mans is like 10 seconds less on the pit stop. Mohamed Colombo into the pit lane, Nico Lilienkamp into the pit lane, Albert Trek into the pit lane, Thomas Varkish has been. And well, I'm gonna get myself a drink, and in the meantime, you can enjoy some beautiful V8 power. It's a beautiful American V8 power as we go now. As we now follow Ash Dunong in the number 2 Cadillac. Lovely noise, isn't it? Some Cadillac ASMR never hurt anyone. So, looking at the current standings, it's still in LMP2, it is still Alphonse Valley leading the way. Whereas in Hypercar, now Nico Lilienkamp is under pressure by Norbert Precker. And Precker is really getting up, trying to get back up the order. They got a Lexus LMGT3 up the road, and that's definitely going to play into their hands of Lilienkamp. Precker trying to get space. Finding the Peugeot, but now there's still Lexus, and that is the essence of multi-class racing. That is Elderic St. Jules, I think, trying to move out of the way, flashing them, saying, I'm sorry, couldn't go anywhere. And that potentially cost him a bit of time, Norbert Precker, but he's definitely going to try to come back. As now Thomas Wachs seemingly had to pit another time. And he's now out of the fight. Now Lilienkamp. Precker's trying to go forward again. The Ferrari is trying to get to the Porsche. Trying to get to the Porsche, but he's got one of them clear. But the Peugeot is pretty straight in a straight line. We do know that much. Now it's the Peugeot is back ahead, but it goes a little bit deep there. And now the Ferrari is back up the not up the rear ring, because the Peugeot doesn't have a rear ring, but you get the idea. And it's gonna gaining all the time. They got some LMP3 cars up the road. I think that's Jasper Kuismanen as well as Cameron Thompson. No, it's Jasper Kuismanen and Ronald Martinez who are fighting for the win in round 1 of the championship. Now fighting for one of the positions further down the order, as Emil Korkel seemingly had to repair some damage. She's Robert English, who's closing the gap on Mike Kraft, so we see some different strategies here, definitely. And the pit stops definitely made. They mix up the order pretty damn rapidly, because stuff like Norbert Precker definitely profited. It did help them. Ronald Martinez seemingly having a moment, because he's now 8 seconds down from the primer car who was just fighting. And there is the very primer car, now the Ferrari to the inside. The Peugeot doesn't want to give up the place. And now Precker on the inside of Lilienkamp. There's the McLaren. This is another GT3 problem for the for Norbert Precker, but the Peugeot just steers right into the side of the Ferrari. Precker flashing lights to the GT3 to indicate get out of my way. Precker is not happy about this. And I wouldn't be either. I don't really blame him. That was a questionable move by Nico Lilienkamp at number 93, and he just decides to let Precker go. Some great sportsmanship there. Yeah, that over the stewards have said he'll need to give that position back. We have a yellow, it seems. Somebody correct in the fluid is. Larry Benter has decided to retire in the pit lane, which leaves us with 9 LMP2 prototypes, 9 GT3 and 8 hypercars on track. 6 retirements after about, well, we're not quite halfway there yet, but we're definitely getting close. Now they're approaching the, not really eating any LMP3s, a long way back. Just with Kuismanen, not the race, he's having a good race. He's over 1 minute down on Alphonse Valley. As Robert English now gaining on 3rd place into Europol, and Team Georgia seemingly the forces that try to fight it out for the win here. Now we got a lot of GT3 traffic. That is Corey Jason, that is Edward Panner, and that is Isaac Busby. And we might see a 3-way GT3 fight here coming up soon. Now the Ferrari goes by. Moves aside. Corey Jason having some troubles with Jasper Kuismanen. He's going down the inside of the Lexus, the GT3 Lexus. All 3 classes at Le Mans, that's luckily something we won't have to miss out on. I mean, maybe there's also room for 4 classes. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? I don't know. We'll definitely see what NXT has planned for seasons 2 and 3. We have a lot of plans and we'll try to make them work. To make this a nice and unique experience for you guys. And these guys on the track. And you know what? Why don't we go? Why don't we go on board with the Lexus of Corey Jason, who's currently all of the rear of the Lamborghini of Edward Panner. Edward Panner now trying to defend the inside line. Corey Jason going for the long way. And he's got the, here comes a hypercar, the Cadillac going through. Edward Panner now on the inside, back on the attack. And maybe he's able to squeeze ahead. Whoops, got a little bit there, but Edward Panner using that multi-class moment of the Cadillac flying by to his advantage, taking the same gap and getting back ahead of the Lexus. But now he's got a bigger problem than just one big car up behind him. It's 2 of them. It's the Lexus and the BMW trying to go past the Lamborghini GT3. And even apologies. Whereas the number 14 Spike, piloted by Van Ravenstein, is in the pit lane now. Car that had such a great start, and we got 90 minutes left on the clock. Would you look at that? So we got basically one NXT race up in front after all of this action. And that also means we are over 1 hour into this race. And we are currently in the deep night hours of this race. We have that beautiful Cadillac flyby. I cannot stop blazing this car. It's just a lovely sound, isn't it? Thomas Varkish now behind the LMP2 class. No idea what happened there. You know that it's gonna get ugly now. Corey Jason on the inside of Edward Panner. Edward Panner doesn't want to give up the place and now swoops ahead of the Lexus. Now there's the number 22 United Autosports car as well. It's number 183. A, of course, car. 2 LMP2 cars on a mission. They don't want to get hauled up by the GT3 cars. But top speed difference isn't that big. And now there's a gap for the Lexus. Panner does cover off the inside line. Jason sticks to the outside line. But I don't think he can get the power down enough. Edward Panner sweeps back to the inside for Indianapolis. And stays ahead of the Lexus. Corey Jason late on the brakes here. This is the battle for the leads. And now there is the LMP2 car of Edward Cockle. Cockle, flashing lights. Getting by. In the back there's another car. I think that's a Toyota. A Toyota hypercar of Charles Anton Wimf. Currently sitting in 6th position overall. And in hypercar. We have lost 2 GP3 cars in total. Thomas Varkish now lost as well. And he's parked at number 99 Proton Porsche in the pits. We have lost 7 cars within the first hour of this 2.4 hour race. There's the Toyota. Edward Penner. The guy was... He was a little bit... He wasn't too confident because in this lobby the assists are turned off and he's usually using auto gears. So looking at his current performance, he might want to turn them off next time. Because he's absolutely flying at the moment. Oh, but now there's the commentator's curse. He's made a little mistake and now there's the chance for Corey Jason, but he couldn't commit to it because he couldn't find the line there through and out of the Lamborghini. And now there's the BMW in the mix as well. And Isaac Busby is hungry. He was in the lead of this race. He was on pole position by quite a margin. And now he's trying to get back into this fight. He now hopped on board with Edward Penner. From the rear wing of that Lamborghini, the Lexus, you can see it gaining. You can see the BMW in the back as well, and now there's the chance for the Lexus. Is it enough? Is it enough this time for Corey Jason to take the lead of the 2.4 hours of Le Mans? Edward Penner now late on the brakes, very brave, and stays ahead of the Lexus. Edward Penner is doing some masterclass of a defense here, but Corey Jason now with a good run down towards the second part of the Mulsanne straight, down to the second part, to the second chicane on the Mulsanne straight. And he's gaining. That toe playing nicely into the hands of the Lexus. That car is over a decade old, but it's still fighting like it's absolutely a young timer. But the Lamborghini isn't too young of a car either. But the Lexus still, it's just missing that tiny bit every time they get into a braking zone. And now he's ever so close to Corey Jason going to the outside line. Edward Penner's going to have the inside line, and that rearing on that Lamborghini is not very high, I think. It's because he's staying ahead at the moment. And Corey Jason just cannot pull alongside properly. Now into Indianapolis. This is a very technical... not Indianapolis yet, sorry. Indianapolis is up next. Still a very technical corner, the Mulsanne corner. And now Corey Jason has got it on the brakes. But what's the gap between the two of them? Jaden Van Ravenstein also into the pit lane. That leaves only 24 cars on the road. A lot of retirements coming in here. Endurance is not for everyone. So I don't blame either of these drivers. I don't know if I could manage to drive 144 minutes. Oh, but Edward Penner almost been hit by Jason. Almost gone into the back of that Lamborghini. Roland Dozer isn't too far off either. Mario Latayo currently P2 in the standings, sitting P5 in GT3, and now is there a chance for Corey Jason? On the inside now, the Lexus ever so closer on the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini is still on the inside line for the Porsche curves. Lexus, very cautious approach there by Jason. You rather lose 5 seconds because you had to avoid contact than lose, let's say, 100 seconds because of damage you got. Now Isaac Busby is getting into striking range of the Lexus as well. It's only 2/10 between the two of them, and it's only 1/10 between Jason and Penner, and this is a three-way fight for the victory right now. here with a lot wider line. Over to start, finish we go now. 1, 2, 3. Almost boom drafting here. The BMW, and that is a horrible angle. I just thought it was on a different camera than intended, but now there's a chance for the BMW on the Lexus. The Lamborghini trying to cover off the Lexus, but must be now on the inside. Corey Jason stays ahead. Jason now trying everything, but now the BMW of Busby got the better run. The number 31 car up behind that number 87. But Jason just got a better run, and this time he's that much closer to Penn, and we've said it over and over again. When is the time gonna be for Jason? When is the chance gonna be there? It might just be here on this occasion, because he's close, gaining. Trying to pull alongside the Lamborghini. Has he got the straight line speed he needs now? He's almost alongside the Lamborghini, but the Lamborghini still inches ahead. Now over the curb, not the best line there for Penner. And now Jason might just try to hold on to P1, but he just cannot get it done. It's just that tiny bit of straight line advantage the Lamborghini has that's costing Jason the lead, the potential chance for taking the lead in this stage of the race right now. But look, once top speed is hit, the Lamborghini just starts to pull away by just a little bit. And it's this time that this happens again as we approach the morning hours. Not gonna be long. Excellent Lamborghini, they're still in that same scenario. It's one car length that Corey Jason needs, and look how the Lamborghini is pulling away. Look how much more power he's got there to work with. Once Jason tucks into the slipstream, now this is the Mulsanne corner. Corey Jason now with a switchback, and now the thing he might have done it. He might have gotten a hat. Corey Jason and Edward Penner side by side. And Jason now by a half car, and by the time they get to the first of the bonds of this straight, he's a whole car in front. He's done it. Corey Jason takes the lead of the race. But Edward Penner's not going to give this up. He's got that tiny straight line speed advantage. Trying to go down the inside into Indianapolis corner. Corey Jason defends it. And Corey Jason has gotten ahead of Edward Penner, I think. The question is, when is this going to be over? And can Jason pull away now? Penner goes deep into the turn. And now the gap is 1 whole second here. And I think finally Jason takes the lead of the race after having a horror start. And that's what they say about endurance racing. You cannot predict anything as we approach the halfway mark of this race. One hour and 10 minutes should be the halfway mark. So now in the early morning stages. We can definitely make 1 or 2 TikToks with that is for sure. Also would like to do the YouTube highlights, but we're not having the manpower. So if you're a cutter and want to work with a league, we're always open for endurance racing on LMU and potentially some other simulations as well as Formula 1 sprint racing. Oh, little lag there from the track side camera. And I'll be taking... I'll stay with you until the halfway mark of this race, because there's still some fighting going on. Currently, looking at the front, Alphonse Valin is roughly 27 seconds in the lead of this race. Walter Dunk is sitting in P2 ahead of Mike Kraft. If Mike Kraft actually does get a podium at Le Mans, that would definitely boost his confidence by a mile. Jasper Kuismanen seemingly has found his pace as he's now approaching the back of Cameron Thompson ever so slightly, and Abbott Cockle is approaching the back of Ronald Martinez on his own as well. In GT3, there's not a lot going on. Albrecht St. Schultz is getting closer to Roland Dozer, but it's mainly going to be these three we're going to have an eye on. But I think it has somewhat calmed down in Hypercar. Well, the gaps are between 20 seconds, between 20 and 10 seconds. The closest of them being Ash Nodong and Nico Lilienkamp, so we might see a little fight breaking out between these two. But Lilienkamp is seemingly struggling right now, as would you believe that Norbert Precker is currently catching the likes of Mohamed Colombo. It's still 16 seconds, but he's gaining. And yeah, this is... we haven't seen him in a long time, but here is your race leader, ladies and gentlemen. Omar Ali, the man for Porsche. 2.4 hours of basically just cruising. An easy 35-second gap to Mohamed Colombo. Is there any fight approaching in LMP2? I mean, there kinda is a fight between Human Courtmaster still trying to catch Alphonse Valley. There you can see the Ferrari approaching the back of the LMP2 car. Obviously no match for Alphonse Valley here. Human Courtmaster, he can go over 10 seconds, not 10 seconds, well, but 5. Maybe no 10 seconds is fairly reasonable. 10 seconds quicker than the LMP2 around the lap here. And yeah, Alphonse Valley moves aside. That's cost him a little bit of time here. He's still got a lot of gap to the car behind Walter Dunk. 30 seconds. So we have Cameron Thompson, who's made a mistake, it seems, because Jasper Kuismanen now in 5th position. It's not bad for Jasper Kuismanen in 5th position. With the double the amount of points, Alphonse Valley would get 32 points at the moment because of the 15 points. Actually, he would get, I think, either 32 or 34. I'm not entirely certain if we also give double points for fast lap and pole position, but he would definitely get at least 32 points, maybe 34. Whereas Jasper Kuismanen in P5 usually gets 6 points, which would be 12 points for Jasper Kuismanen. It's still a 20-point deficit. And the Hertz Team Jordan car, looking at the standings. Looking at the standings in Next Step Racing. At the moment, it is in LMP2. The gap between Jasper Kuismanen and Alphonse Valley is, would you believe it, 23 points. I don't think Jasper Kuismanen will catch Alphonse Valley, because the gap is 70 seconds now and it's growing like mad. Well, Walter Dunk has just DNF'd. What has happened to Walter Dunk? Well, unfortunate retirement for him, which makes it the 9th retirement of the race. But that allows Jasper Kuismanen a 4th positioner in LMP2. and Robert English a third position. So it's definitely good for Jasper Kuismanen, but it's not that good for Prema. Because obviously now Jasper Kuismanen won't get 12 points, but instead 16. But Robert English will also get 20 points, and together with Alphonse Verlin's 32 or 34 points, that will be, well, you can do the math, but it will be 52 points, and that will be over 40 points that Hertz Team Jota will gain on Prema. And I do think that once we look at the LMP2 World Constructors Championship, that the gap is roughly the same. Is exactly 40 points, and that means that Hertz Team Jota will equal Prema on points, unless I just noticed I didn't actually switch to LMP2. That we'll have a lot of gain here. A lot of gain here from Hertz Team Jota, and that would equal the points. The thing about Hertz Team Jota is they only got one car. So, and we got 2 more rounds to go, so Prema has 2 cars on the grid by default. Hertz Team Jota has 1 car on the track per default. So, well, that, apologies, does mean that Prema has better chances in Portugal and at Sebring, which are the next 2 rounds, before we go on a 1 to 2 week break until we hit season 2. And well, we're definitely excited for that season. So, we have reached the halfway point of this race. In the next 10 seconds, I'll be going to the toilet. While I'll leave you with that little fight in GT3 for the lead. Don't get confused, that Corvette is Andrew Taylor. He's getting lapped now. Definitely a better race for him than his previous one. But actually, one aspect at Norbert Tracker. Oh, not mixed hypercar. There we go. Alright, I'll be right back. Leave you here with now 51 Ferrari of Norbert Tracker. So back we are here at Circuit de la South, and currently looking at the results. The mid-race results. Omar Ali still leads Mohamed Colombo by 45 seconds. Norbert Precker in P3. 59 seconds. He's trying to work that gap down. More or less successful on Mohamed Colombo. Nico Lidienkamp, don't get fooled. I think he has been in the pits. Same goes for... Oh no, Jasper actually. Schultz and Thorne Wimpf in P5. Then Harry with Ashton O'Dong, but he has been in the pits. Alphonse Valley in 7th. Humut Korkmaz in P7 in Hypercar. P8 overall, because, well, he's still lap down on some of these drivers. We have lost Thomas Varkish and Thomas Robert Ham, unfortunately. Thomas Varkish 8 laps ago, Thomas Robert Ham 12 ago. Then in LMP2 it's Alphonse Verlin who's leading the LMP2 class by 46 seconds ever since Walter Dunk has called it a day and retired the car. Unfortunately for Inter Europol, that does mean, however, their second car finds itself now in P2, and it could be a great result for Minecraft. Then Robert English P3, what a recovery from him. Jasper Kuismanen, not the best of races for him. Coming to the pit right now, P4 in class and P11 overall. Edward Cockhill, P5 in class. Currently trying to close the gap to Jasper Kuismanen, I think he does so because his personal best is definitely quicker than his. Robert Martinez in P6, number 22 United Autosports ahead of Cameron Thompson, who's a lap down on the leading LMP2 of Alphonse Velling. We have lost Jaden van Ravenstein, Eri Venter, Jake Van Leeuwen, and Noah Schlurp, Spike, 1 TLX, 1 Prema, and 1 United Autosports car along the way. Then in GT3, Isaac Busby currently leading ahead of Corey Jason and Edward Penner, who I think have been in the pits. So Busby with a mega undercut there. Omar Ali struggling a bit bringing that Porsche 963 into the pit lane, but he's got a comfortable gap over Mohamed Colombo, so that should be fine. So in GT3, Isaac Busby leads Corey Jason, then Penner in P3, Laiteo, still don't know how to pronounce that name, in P4. He's fighting currently with Roland Dozer, Alaric St. Jules in P6, J.S. Whitfield, the only Porsche on track in GT3, in P7, Thatcher Moore in P8, and number 66 Ferrari, and Andrew Taylor, last car on track. We have lost the number 82 Corvette of Palakas Jr. and Ben Morris Hodges, number 44 Mustang. So, currently watching Mohamed Colombo, who has the very first of the pit boxes. Let's watch someone on the track as the gap. Omar Ali currently coming out, the gap to the next car. I has made it stop, is actually holding on. I think I found out, I'm still not entirely sure how to pronounce the Cadillac driver's name. And as we're broken into the final hour, it's the final sprint for these guys. The final hour has started. Who has been in the pits? Jasper Kuismanen has in the pits, and Edward Cockhill has been in the pits, as well as Cameron Thompson. Dong now in the final sector. There's Norbert Precker now out on track ahead of a CLX car, Cameron Thompson, that is. 17 a hard track, it's an enduring track, and that is what endurance is all about. Pushing car and drive to the absolute limits. 2.4 hours. That is no easy task. To drive 2.4 hours at the very best. Not even real drivers can do that just that easily. And of course, they still have all the physical aspects, which we don't. We don't experience G-forces here, but we definitely got a little bit of. We definitely got a little bit of focus that's being involved here as well. And some drivers just cannot hold the focus for that long. It's totally fine. If you cannot do that, it's very hard. And, well, looking at the gap between Omar Ali and Mohamed Colombo, it has come down to 33 seconds. Still a massive gap. But oh, would you look at that? Cadillac at the rear of the Peugeot. Not quite yet, but Lilienkamp is Lilienkamp is definitely gonna feel the pressure O'Donnell is gonna put on him. I'm just gonna call him this way now. I'm sorry if you're watching this and I completely mispronounced your name. Gap currently being 2 seconds between the blue nose the Cadillac and the rear ring less ass of the Peugeot. Some struggles, some retirements, but we're still looking at a pretty nice grid as... Oh, there is Human Coldmaster who's had another moment, it seems. Alphonse Velin into the pit lane goes the Hertz Team Jota car. The other Hertz Team Jota car of Robert English, 60 seconds down on him. Ronald Martinez also into the pits. Those are the drivers that have 1 lap of an advantage over the others regarding pit stops. That advantage is definitely going to be massive. This is the number 28 car. I'm getting confused. Robert English is just a 29 car for records, because there is no 29 car in the game, and well, we have 2 28 Hertz Team Jotas, so we just use this measure. Currently, of those who have stopped, Mike Kraft ahead of Jasper Kuismanen by almost 40 seconds. Mike Kraft is looking like he's got some very solid pace around here in comparison to other tracks. Like when you compare it to like Bahrain, where Jasper Kuismanen was gapping 2 seconds a lap out of him, now his personal best is 2 seconds quicker, and he's got the second best lap time in LMP2 ever since Walter Dunk has retired his car. So into the pit lane now comes Robert English. Out of the pit lane comes Alphonse Velin. What is the advantage he's going to have over Mike Kraft? It's going to be a lot, that is for sure. Currently it's 66 seconds after pit stops, leading by a whole minute, and we still got 50 more minutes to go. It's currently midday here at Circuit de la South. That gap is definitely going to come down by a bit, by quite a bit. So we got a yellow flag. Is that anyone in the GT3 class? Oh, that's Edward Penner. The 3rd place Lamborghini has pinned it in the Porsche curves. Oh, that's not ideal for him. He's got a lot of time to the car behind. Now the tail. Mauro, the tail. I have no idea. The tail. Just not leave it here. So. We have still been 20 seconds. I think LMGT3 settled down by quite a bit. The smell could still evolve. Completely come. Definitely far greater won-lap potential. But Eshnodon is definitely looking like a very consistent driver. He might not be as fast with his personal best being over 2 seconds down on Riedel Kamp's personal best, but he's got consistency. He's got this personal best. He's able to go this pace for the entire duration of the race almost. Is there anyone who has made any contact? Looking like it. Sometimes we get just yellow flags, and I'm just wondering where that happens. And now, a little bit wide there on the exit. That's not gonna help him. With a run down. I check where Omar Ali currently is to be found. He's on the Mulsanne straight. He's not too far behind. Wilf could see himself getting lapped soon. I'll still spectate the Cadillac in the hunt of the Peugeot that is driving up in front. It's the only really on-track battle we have, except for the fact that Jasper Kuismanen has just been overtaken by Edward Cockle. Doesn't really matter that much though, because he'll get the points of P4 anyways, I think. Ever since Cockle is not a full season entry in the number 183A, of course. Got 45 minutes to go. And, there I say, it has been a race, that is for sure. And it's definitely been my favorite NXT race. And I'm hoping to see more of this in the very near future. Attendance, well, definitely should consider some methods. Try to get more people to race here. But definitely has been fun thus far. It's gonna be fun soon. Again, next week up in Portugal with the penultimate round of the season, round 6 at the Algarve circuit. And then number 7, the round finale with the 185 miles or 90 minutes simply of the Sebring. Well, that is definitely something to look out for. Oh, and we have 2 cars off. A little bit too careful both of these drivers. Jasper Kuismanen into the pit lane. I think he's got some damage to repair on that Prema car. Let's hope we won't see him as a retired car in the pit lane. Yeah. Yeah, the thing... so realistically, we're gonna have more infos tomorrow. But I think realistically we're gonna see LMU on PlayStation, Xbox within about 1 year. So I think we're gonna have F1 26 before we have LMU on console. Because at the moment they're still focusing on the ELMS content update. I think... I don't know for sure. We could see it in like half a year on console maybe. But I think realistically it's like 1 year. So leading come now into the pit lane. Those are the third and final stops. And those two are gonna have to save a lot. Oh, was this a drive-through penalty for leading cam? I think it was. From number 93 Peugeot. And then there's obviously the question if we're gonna have crossplay or not, because we're definitely gonna stick with PC. And let's hope that console will have crossplay. Unlike Assetto Corsa Competizione. Which is why we're probably gonna have an Assetto Corsa division next for console. Oh, and there's a Porsche. That is just Whitfield. Number 92 Porsche. It's been a long time ever since we started this race. Let's look at the virtual energy actually of the hypercar class. %62% for Omar Ali, 61 for Colombo, 57 for Precker, and 52 for O'Donoghue. For Lydian comes 60, indeed the drive-through for Whip 55, and for Kokmas 67. Marcus and Robert Hammer sadly retired the car. And everyone on mediums except on Whip, who's decided to go for the soft option, which is really interesting. In the LMP class, well, we only have 7 drivers remaining, but all of them decided to go for the mediums. And in GT3 we have 9 drivers, I think, remaining. Yes, indeed, all of them on the medium as well. Let's look at the number of stops. Almost everyone has done 2 stops. Cockle already on his 3rd stop. I think he'll go until the ends on these. I've got a Porsche. I think that might be... Is that Alphonse Villeneuve is the leading car in LMP2, leading by 70 seconds. Absolute dominance. And there I see... Oh, I do see Mohamed Colombo getting caught by Norbert Precker. The gap is only 3 seconds between these two. Norbert Precker onto the grass there. And would you believe it? Omar Ali 3 seconds clear of Mohamed Colombo per lap. That is enormous in motorsports. Even for a track like this. Mohamed Colombo with a bit of damage to that front bumper of that Ferrari. 499p, we got a... We'll definitely have to see. Omar Ali eager to, from what I've heard, eager to switch to the BMW for Season 2. Where we can expect... And we can definitely expect a lot more people. Because, well, a Monday league is... not everyone has time for that, especially when the races last like till 12 p.m. For some people, for example, in Finland. Or more like 11 p.m. for them. Never mind, it'll be 11 p.m. for them. For me, it's 10 p.m. For those in the UK, it's 9 p.m. Oh my days. I think I'll leave the interviews to my colleague. I'll leave the stream running definitely, but I'll have to find someone to do the interviews with. Unless I do it myself. Well. But we have seen some extraordinary racing today, that is for sure. And up and downs for everyone. And Tracker is catching Colombo ever so slightly, but still 8.7 seconds. He's still got half an NXT race to go. And oh my guys, it is definitely some GT3 traffic getting in the way of tractor here. I need to find myself some tissue because my nose is well, a bit full. Just running again. It'll be definitely interesting. So any battle approaching on track? Other extensions and the tire 7.4 seconds, so we could maybe see something there. I'll see the leading car, but now let's switch to the overall leader of Alma Adi. And he's dominating this race, and I think that is another Grand Slam. That is, no, it cannot be normal tracker. He's slapping. Well, it's been 9 laps ever since we lost Walter Dunk. Oh, there's a Porsche! GT3 Porsche, and that is just Whitfield having the moment there. I cannot believe that happened. Quite hard for Adi. And that is Humid Kogmas, a car in his class. I know they do share the same esports team because, well, they do share the same esports team as me. One of them as an LW driver, one of them as an LW Academy driver. And now they're going to be lapping, one of them is going to lap the other one. Midfield not into the pit lane actually, interestingly enough. Well, those are having a rather, well, how do I say it, boring race I think. As was Mauro Matteo, Edward Penner, after having now 15 seconds down, Corey Jason was 15 seconds down on Isaac Kuismanen, having started this race on pole position. Currently leading in LMGT3. Albert Valley being over 80 seconds, having lapped everyone, having lapped Jasper Kuismanen actually, who was down by quite a bit, and I think Ronald Martinez is the next one that's getting lapped. And well, Hypercar, it's once again its Omar Ali domination. Though Mohamed Colombo is starting to work and close that gap, 7 just Omar Ali completely in a league of his own. Will definitely need to find some competition to get this guy to somehow get someone to fight this guy. Because at the moment he's just wind farming, and that is that to an extent where it's absolutely crazy what this man is doing every weekend over and over again. This could be his most dominant victory in this league. I think he'll lap the Toyota of Charles win as human Cognas. Almost spins that Ferrari 499P into the barrier. Oh, and that is a horrible spot to park. Luckily, there's no one on the map, and I think it's horrible as well. Whoops. Well. Mohamed Colombo having a little moment there, and that is not good for the 83 AF course driver. Because that allows Norbert Precker to close the gap, and it seemingly is not over. 4 seconds in the hypercar. Norbert Precker now approaching the back of Mohamed Colombo. And keep in mind, Mohamed Colombo is not an entry that counts for the championship, so Norbert Precker is going to score second place points anyways. But it'll definitely be an achievement if you could catch that car and make it second on the road. But Colombo is a fierce fighter. He's absolutely ruthless. And Colombo tries. I mean, he was in a controversy. He was involved in a controversy, which got him 3 of his penalty points. And once he gets 5, he'll have to potentially compete with either extra fuel or face a qualifying ban. Maybe even get a drive-through penalty. So if I was him, I would think about maybe what I'm doing on the track. But we know that he can also be very clean, so let's see how this fight between the two Ferrari entries is going to play out. Because, well, Colombo might not be in the fight for any championship and not going to score any points. But, you know, he'll also not score. He'll also, unlike IRL, Colombo's entry of number 83 is, well, not in any way related to the 50 car, so there's no team orders here. So he's not just going to give it up. The gap is 1.7 seconds now. let's jump on board with the A of course Ferrari on the rearing of that car. And now he's there. Now Norbert Precker is at the rear of the Ferrari A of course. And well, this will surely be interesting between the pair of these drivers. Where Precker is gaining the most is definitely in Sector 3. Mohammed just has worse tires it seems. He's gonna pick new ones for the new stop. Let's have a look at the energy remaining. And I think they'll have to stop. They might have to, I'm not entirely sure. He has a GT3, the BMW of Marla tire that won last time around here. Now it's in the way of the number 83 car. Precker goes to the outside line. Colombo fends off on the inside line. Precker just can't quite find a way past the number 83 Ferrari of Mohamed Colombo. He's trying to hold on to it. And Mohamed Colombo has done enough for this occasion to keep the car, the red Ferrari, in behind himself. Precker trying to find a way past desperately behind Mohamed Colombo, up behind that yellow Ferrari car. And they will have some LMGT3 traffic up in front. That car being piloted by Alderic St. Jules, who's currently on for 4th place finish. Decent finish for the Lexus driver once again, which is very nice to see. One Ferrari goes past, the other is going to take the tow and going to go past as well. And Mohamed Colombo still staying out of Precker. But Precker could have the chance of trying to get Colombo now into Indianapolis corner. Or first up the Multan corner, I believe. Nope, that is Indianapolis. You can see the hypercars absolutely swooshing by there. Now into another hard braking zone to the right. Second part of Indianapolis. Not really finding a way past there. They're going to approach the first chicane, the Daytona chicane, before they happen for the Porsche curves, and then the Corvette curves. Colombo can hold on to that second place. Norbert Precker might have overpushed his tires a little bit. You can see him sliding. Colombo goes straight because there's an LMP2 car on the road, and that could help Norbert Precker. Colombo stays ahead for now. You surely got a warning for that, but he can easily get that removed because this was absolutely not his fault. That I think it was Cameron Thompson who stood there. And now there's a chance for the number 51 car. Colombo pushing Precker towards the inside. He's not going to have the inside line for the upcoming chicane. Colombo late on the brakes there for Mohamed. Colombo locked a standing front left tire. And now Norbert Precker could get him on the exit into turns 4 and 5. There you go. Colombo stays ahead of Norbert Precker. Apologies. Oh. Definitely need one more water. Now onto the Multan they go. Colombo stays ahead. Who's going to get the better rundown onto the Multan straight? They got a couple of kilometers until the first of the chicanes. Colombo trying everything to hold on to that position. Colombo tries to claim the inside line. Precker's going to have to go a long way around. Colombo sends him a long way around. Goes late into the brakes. Precker trying to drive an alternative line, but Colombo definitely on the better line here and definitely on the better run down the second part of the Multan straight now. They got a couple of more kilometers until second of the Multan chicanes, and then the big Multan corner. They got an LMGT3, that was Edward Penner up in front, but the gap is now back to 0.4 of a second. Colombo gets the Lamborghini, and I think Precker will get the Lamborghini as well pretty easily, as they now head into the second of the Multan corners, and Precker that much later on the brakes, that much earlier on the throttle. Colombo this time. Now Precker will try to gain on Mohamed Colombo. Let's go on board with that Ferrari, as he's now roaring down the pack straight into the hard braking zone of the Multan corner. Colombo still has that minor advantage. Still able to stay up in front of Norbert Precker. 5/10 a gap now, and we approach the last 20 minutes of this race. Now it's the end sprint. We started this race during the day hours. Even when we started this race, it was bright outside, and now it's almost black outside here in Germany, from where I'm commentating this race. And for some of these drivers, they're coming from Finland, they're coming from Sweden, they're coming from all across the world. I know some of them, Mohamed Colombo, for example, in the UK, will have a lot better weather, a lot better view outside. But both of them, Colombo and Precker, really struggling on the tires. So when are the pit stops going to come in? That is the question. If they are even going to come in, leading Cup now ahead of O'Donnell. Let's have a look at the virtual energy. What the fuck? Fucking idiot. Sorry, my bad. Brotherly love. Colombo saving a lot more than Precker. Colombo could definitely go until the end. I think. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think he can actually. I think we'll see one more stop for these drivers. It's 27 seconds, 72 seconds to the leader, 73 seconds now. He now leads 88 seconds in GP3. Because he has been in the pit lane. Corey Jason needs to pit. But now, let's have a look at this little fight here. Oh my god, sorry about that. Mohamed Colombo now trying to go defensive on Norbert Precker. Norbert Precker's going to have the inside line for the corner. Is he already out? He's about at the half a car. By the time to get to the corner now, Mohamed Colombo late on the brakes. Trying to go a long way around. But Norbert Precker's got that one covered, but he gets forced off the road. And Norbert Precker just has to settle down for a second. He was a whole car by the time they got to the corner. But Mohamed Colombo said no, thank you very much. And was just so late on the brakes. Threw everything at Norbert Precker, what he had in his pockets. But Colombo now in the 499P, entered by A, of course. Now there's a GT3, that's the provisional leader of GT3, Isaac Busby. One hypercar goes by, two hypercars go by, and that is the fight for P2 in hypercar with 20 minutes on the clock. And I don't know about you guys, but this is still not over, not at all. Even after 2.4 hours, these guys are still battling it all out on the final 20 minutes of this race. And now Mohamed Colombo has had a little wiggle out of that Mulsanne corner, and now Norbert Precker is going to try to have a look at him on this little piece of road down towards Indianapolis. Mohamed Colombo absolutely roars that car down into Indianapolis. Hypercars are peaking at about 240 kilometers an hour down that little right kink. If Alphonse Vallon could actually finish this race ahead of Yilmaz Korkmaz, that could be sensational. That could be the first time ever that an LMP2 car is ahead of a hypercar. But Alphonse into the pit lane. Alphonse Vallon into the pit lane. Has the underfield the car. I'm not entirely sure the virtual energy system for the LMP2 class and the LMP3 class not really working. I mean, the LMP2 class don't have that game, I think. Even Korkmaz goes by. Minecraft. What happened to the advantage he had? Robert English is the car in P3, is 80 seconds down. Then Edward Cockle, Ronald Martinez, and Jasper Kuismanen, who's an entire lap down. And now, there in the back, you can see this little fight. Mohamed Colombo and Norbert Precker both having a little wiggle coming out of that corner. And Precker now on the rear ring of that number 83A, of course, car. No team orders here at Ferrari. I mean, why? It's an entirely different team. Because Mohamed Colombo is not part of the A, of course, team that is competing. But as a Ferrari factory driver for in GT3, he could potentially consider getting his elbows out a little bit more for other drivers, but I don't think he's planning on letting Norbert Precker pass. Norbert Precker now with a better run. There's an LP2 car, that is Jasper Kuismanen, the lone Prema standing in this race. Norbert Precker weaving a little bit, indicating, here I come. Maybe also just a little wiggle, but they're that much closer this time. Into the Mulsanne, into the Mulsanne chicane. I don't think we're gonna see any move here. Norbert Precker late on the brakes, almost loses that 51. Car, Mohamed Colombo over the curb, Norbert Precker on the curb. I don't know how Norbert Precker saved that. But Colombo now approaching the Prema of Kuismanen. He's got him cleared. What about Precker? Is Precker going to clear the Prema as well? Yes, he is. He's not as clear, but he's definitely ahead of him. And now hunting down that number 83 car of Colombo. 17 more minutes is what Colombo has to finish. You see the next of the other two cars coming to the pit lane. And Alphonse Vallon has come out on track and he's still 30 seconds ahead. I think it's pretty easy to say that he's definitely got this in the back. Now the two hypercars getting past Thatcher Moore. Thatcher Moore currently P8 in class, not gonna score any points. Because, well, he's on the NXT entry. But... well, it's always fun to drive a Le Mans race. Because who doesn't love Le Mans? Unfortunately, the Nürburgring is not in here. But, well... at least we're getting the new tracks of Silverstone, Spain, and Le Castle in the near future. So I'm very excited to see some hypercars around Spain or Silverstone. As well as the LMP3 class. Maybe, who knows, maybe we'll have a 4-class race at Le Mans. We'll definitely see that. There's always room for 15 cars class. Just saying. And Colombo into the pit lane. What about Precker? Precker in the pit lane as well. There's this bug that you can cut the entire gravel trap, but no one's using that, and I do like that a lot. Because that would be a big penalty, and no one wants it. Come on. This is a beautiful fight here. Now, how brave are you on the fuel? Colombo has saved a lot more fuel. A lot more virtual energy. So his stop is not going to take as long as Precker's. Oh, but Precker with a beautiful pit box entry. Is that the 83 going already? Yes, it is. Colombo out. Precker now out as well. It's such a minor gap, and Precker has gained a lot. Let's look at how much fuel how much energy they have taken. Omar Ali was in the pit lane already, so he's definitely going to be able to bring these to an end. And now this is a fight for P2, not over, not at all. Colombo 7%, Precker 2. Well, it's going to update once across the first of the checkpoints, of the hidden checkpoints hidden around this circuit. And the gap is so close. It's barely even a 10th, it's a 1,000th, and now Colombo has made a mistake, and Precker is ultimately going past him. Precker now ahead. Colombo is definitely going to try everything to get that Ferrari back up, both at 35%. So somehow Precker has just had a way better pit stop than Colombo, and Colombo is now going to have to try to give it his everything. Oh my days, and my headset stopped working. Oh. Speaking of timing. Colombo now, oh, everything's still working, yeah. Colombo now trying to take a wider line to maybe get a slingshot on the exit, and I think he got that. Yes, indeed, he's closer, he's closing in on Precker. Precker now has to decide where he wants to go. Leading come out of the pits. I think O'Donnell has, yes, indeed, he is ahead. That's also a close battle we should maybe watch. But now Colombo on the outside of Precker. Precker on the inside of Colombo. Colombo now going to have the inside line. Also Precker going to have the inside line. They're still side by side. To Ferrari, of course, door handle to door handle. And both of them are not going to give this one up because we're in 13 minutes to go. Colombo now trying to give it his everything. And Precker a little bumping down the Mulsanne straight. As we now head into the Mulsanne corner, hard on the brakes. Who's going to back out of here? I think it's no one of them. Precker still trying to go for a long way around. This is not a good overtaking spot, not a good spot to go side by side here. And Colombo gets ahead, back ahead of Precker. No matter how hard Precker fights this, he's gonna get second place points regardless. But you don't want to finish Le Mans in second place. Come on. Omar Ali has overfueled a little bit, but he's still 1 minute ahead, so don't think that'll be a problem for him. Edward Cockle now on the rear of Ronald Martinez. As Alfonso Velling is only 30 seconds ahead of Mike Kraft. Oh, both of them touch the grab a little bit there. With an LMGT3, we still got a fight on our hands between Isaac Busby and Corey Jason for the win. But we're definitely going to look at the hypercar. At the two hypercars until either of them make a mistake, maybe. Or will they finish this? Let's hope for them. Neither of them will make a mistake. But now another Precker is having a look at it. Colombo goes onto the grass. There is a Porsche now. In a Porsche curves, and there's Mohamed Colombo going into the back. And both Ferraris out into the gravel trap. What has happened there? And is there any chance for Ashton O'Tong to catch these two? I don't think there is. But what on earth was that? With a Porsche there. We definitely have to take that to the steward's room. I do not know who was fault here. But I do know that Norbert Parker is now at Mohamed Colombo. And I know for a fact that Mohamed Colombo is very, very, very mad right now. Oh my god! I hate this. I hate this so much, this headset. I'm actually gonna use it. Wait a second. Oh, there we have it. Norbert Precker still leads Colombo. Whereas Isaac Busby leads Corey Jason. Corey Jason trying his everything, but I think Busby just has that much more confidence in the BMW than Jason does in the Lexus. So he'll give it his everything. 10 more minutes to go. And Colombo's gotten ahead of Precker. We totally missed that. But now there's another LMGT3 up the road. Colombo has to go onto the grass there. There's another big crash. And that is a really, really, really big shunt in these closing minutes of the race. Mohamed Colombo tried to go to the left, but the Ferrari went the left as well. Is any one of them going to be able to continue the race? Precker, it seems. Colombo not. Thatcher Moore as well. Does Colombo have damage? I think he's got a bit. Where's Ashton O'Donnell? He's up behind Mike Kraft in the LMP2. LMP2 got a little bit more out of the corners because of the four-wheel drive. What a closing stage. What on earth? Mohamed Colombo, yeah, that suspension is absolutely broken. And he's going to be fuming. And what on earth did we just witness here? So could this be a sneaky podium for Ashton O'Toole? As long as Colombo finishes ahead of Lydian Camp, he has that. Well, actually no, because Colombo has that. Oh, this is what we mean with stay predictable. At the GT3, hold your line. And I think Colombo was actually in the right here because he tried to go to the left. Just let the hypercars pass you. Do not move out of the way. Just stick to your line and you're good to go. The gap is very big. But hold up, it's closer than you might think between these two here for first position in GT3. Ronald Martinez into the pit lane. He's going to come out ahead of Jasper Kuismanen. I think he might do this. No, in fact he does not. Ronald Martinez now behind Jasper Kuismanen. I think this is where he stays. So Jasper Kuismanen promoted to 4th position. Or 5th on track, but 4th because Cockle is not gonna score any points. Now Jason is leading the race here in Le Mans. He's gonna get the 4 points regardless, because that is not a full season entry, that BMW. What on earth did I wish I could I could have been louder there, but Don't want to wake up anyone. It's pretty damn late here as we got 7 more minutes to go, and what a closing stage it has been to this race. Drama on the last couple of laps, even worse than Spa. So that is 2 more laps for these LMGT3 race cars to go, I think. Depending on where the race leader is. That is Omar Ali. Oh my god, millimeters separating him and Cameron Thompson in the CLX racing car. Absolutely powering that Porsche. Every inch of it, and I don't think Colombo has anything in that Ferrari 499P left with that suspension. Oh, and that was... I'm very tired, yes. No, actually not that much. My voice is just dead because I've been screaming this entire time. Andrew Taylor, he was also one who wasn't confident, and well, at least he's finishing the race, and I think that was what he was looking for in that 81 Corvette, because it's an enduring race, definitely. That's why it's called endurance. And Isaac must be now... Corey Jason! What has happened to Corey Jason? Okay, I don't want to go into replay yet. What has happened to Corey Jason? We're gonna see at the end of the stream. Was there contact with Isaac Busby in the final? What is happening here? That means Edward Penner will finish on the podium. And that means that this fight is a fight for a podium now. I don't know if Mauro Lataio knows. But I think he'll have by now realized that he could get a podium here at Circuit de la South. That car up. That means Edward Penner is on points for the win. Edward Penner will get the full 50 points awarded if he finishes this race in 2nd place. Because Isaac Busby is not going to score any points since he's not an NXT entry. But what has happened in these closing stages? Check some of the chats. I don't think we've got anything texted yet. We have Omar Ali still leading by almost 100 seconds. What this man just does here over and over again is just absolutely insane. He's now lapping Robert English, who's on for a P3 finish at the moment. And that must be a lovely feeling. And also this guy, Minecraft, very, very good friends with him. Very, very proud of him that he's finally made it to a podium. He's deserved this one so much. It's not over though. Everything can happen yet. But I think this is going to be the penultimate lap for Omar Ali in that Porsche 963 hypercar with a Grand Slam. Yes, he is. Max, yes, he is. With a Grand Slam at Circuit de la South Le Mans. The sun sets. We got one more lap of racing, guys. One more lap for this enduring race. And he knows. He definitely knows what is happening to him today. Unfortunately, we cannot penalize any of the non-permanent entries for the season. Portugal incident, yes. You should have seen the incident between Mohamed Colombo, Norbert Precker and the GT3 cars today. The flying Ferrari, I'll say that much. Piloting that Porsche 963 through the Porsche curves. What a nice name for a corner this is. Nico Lilienkamp only 2 seconds off the Cadillac up in front. This is the fight for P4. Lilienkamp is going to get a P3 regardless because of that, of the fact that neither the Cadillac nor Mohamed Colombo are full season entries, so they're gonna get the 3 season points. I don't think Edward Penner realizes yet, I don't know if he does, that he'll basically win a race on points in NXT, and that I think will give him the championship lead. So, one more lap here at Circuit de la South. After 2.4 enduring hours, Omar Ali, what a performance this has been. But he's got about 13 kilometers to go until he can finally claim victory here in NXT once again, with another Grand Slam added to the legend of Omar Ali and the championship. Preckert threw everything, recovered from 9th to 2nd, but it's not enough. Omar Ali had to outscore him by 1 point, and he's gonna outscore Norbert Precker by, I think, 8 points. He's got the best lap with over 3 seconds of a gap. Absolute domination. Let's hope he can hold that up next season as well. But that means Porsche and Omar Ali will clinch the both championships. Alphonse Verlin will make, and Jota will make the LMP2's championship interesting, whereas Edward Penner will score points for Lamborghini as he finds himself in the gravel, but the gap to Mauro Lataio is about 20 seconds, and he's absolutely pushing that BMW right now ahead of Elric St. Jules. This is for, that means Mauro Lataio, I think, might actually take the championship lead. Elric St. Jules is also in the fight, so GT3 is definitely close. Closer maybe than someone would like. Norbert Precker had the big incident with Mohamed Colombo and the Ferrari 296 GT3 on the main straight. You're gonna see a lot here. GT3 and hypercar leader here. Omar Ali having to avoid there a bit. I think Isaac must be saying sorry for that one. See, power is now down towards Indianapolis, flat out. Not, maybe not entirely flat, a little lift, otherwise you can't easily use the car. But from what I've seen, Omar Ali has done everything right, and the clock has hit 0. And one more time, we're gonna fly down this little straight to the Porsche curves. And Omar Ali is throwing that Porsche in through these curves one more time. To the right, to the left, to the right, and to the left one more time. Onto this little straight. And he knows now he's done it once again. That makes me proud of signing this guy to AMS. So, one more corner to go, and Omar Ali can call himself a winner in NXT for the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Omar Ali and Porsche win Le Mans in dominant fashion, a Grand Slam at Circuit de la South. And he is the champion, the driver's champion, the constructor's champion. Isaac Busby claims victory in LMGT3. He's sadly not gonna score any points. But there you have it. There is your winner. Who's gonna cross the line next? It's gonna be Robert English with a podium for Jota from dead last. He finishes P3 for Hertz Team Jota. Who is next? Is it gonna be Norbert Precker? Is it gonna be Edward Penner? Second on the road, but Edward Penner will take the full 30 points for a victory. Edward Penner takes second in LMGT3 and will win on the points. Absolutely masterful drive from him. Mauro Lataio will clinch third place. Where are the other podium finishers? Oh, Norbert Precker off into the gravel there for one final lap. That suspension is definitely very, very broken. Edward Penner into pit. Mauro Lataio crosses the line to clinch second. Provisionally clinch third on the track. St. Jules 4th on track, 3rd by points. And here he comes. Alphonse Valin for Hertz Team Jota takes the lead of the standings and wins the 2.4 hours of Le Mans for Hertz Team Jota. 1-3 for the Hertz Team Jota team. Their best result ever in NXT. Norbert Precker finishes 2nd. He did everything he could today, but Omar Ali was just too quick. Mohamed Colombo, what an unlucky race, he said. He's glad though he finished that one. Mohamed Colombo takes 3rd. And I think that was everyone. Ashno I have no idea how to pronounce that name. For Cadillac. Finally, a good finish for the V Series R. Cadillac will barely hold on to 4th position. Lydian Kamp will take the 3rd place on the points for number 93 Peugeot. And will take the fight to Portugal next week to fight the Ferrari of Norbert Precker, the 51 Ferrari. But what a race this has been. The 2 final hypercars crossed the line. Jasper Kuismanen, the championship leader. Will he remain in the lead of the championship? We don't know. But that was your race. But we got one more guy to celebrate. One more driver to be proud of. Mike Kraft comes through the final sector and gets not any podium. He gets his first podium in NXT after over a year in Formula 1. And this time he does it in LMP2 for Inter-Europe Pole competition, and he does it in absolute style at Circuit del South. Mike Kraft will come around the final chicane to get 2nd place for Le Mans. Bravo, Mike! This one was a great one. This one was in the making. And this is your final result. Finally. So, this is race result. Omar Ali, 41 laps, wins Le Mans ahead of Norbert Precker, Mohamed Colombo, Ashton O'Donoghue, I have no idea, I'll need to ask him how to pronounce his name. Nico Lillian Kamp in P5, Charles Antoine with a rather chill race in P6, Hubert Korkmaz P7, Alphonse Valin in P8, Minecraft P9, Robert English P10, 1-3 for the Hertz Team Jota team. They will be definitely happy with that. Cameron Thompson Edward Cockle P4, Jasper Kuismanen P5, Ronald Martinez P6, and Cameron Thompson P7. Then Isaac Busby, Edward Penner, who wins on points, Marola Tayo, then St. Jules, Thatcher Moore, Roland Dozer. Thatcher Moore will be definitely having a little talk with Mohamed Colombo about that big collision with a Ferrari flying through the air. We lost a lot of drivers. We'll see you next time around in Portugal. We're definitely gonna have some interviews now. I'll be right back with you guys. But, well, get a drink and get a snack, and then we will have the interviews. I'll be right back with you. So, welcome back to the interviews, everyone. If you want to be interviewed, then raise your hands with a little button you have on the top right of your screen. And, well, Then we'll get started. First one. Van Ravenstein, I think that was the entire name. You can come onto the stage now in the
Yeah,
third,
hello.
in the number 14 spike, or, well, in this case,
Yeah.
the third car. So, unfortunately, your race was over pretty quickly, but the first stint, we all saw that start immediately to P1. How did you do that?
I had a good reaction, and then take the lead. I was like in the first few corners. I was a few seconds ahead of the drivers, and then I had a massive snap of oversteer 2 times, and then the first 3 cars overtook me, and then I got another. And then later, I think in lap 14, I lost it after the Porsche corners.
Yeah, but and later on, I saw you were in the chat as a viewer. How was that viewing experience, and how did you? What do you think about the last crash between the two Ferraris and the
Oh, I
GT360
did
Solid?
not saw the crash.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I think we'll have to interview the drivers themselves for that, because that was a really big shunt. But well, so I don't know if you will see you again this season in any of the LMP2 cars, but surely next season, I hope. Um, so are you happy overall with your results, or would
Nah.
you have liked to finish the race?
I like to finish third. My race pace was not all that good, like the driver in front. Like Wellin, he had a massive good race, but my race pace is normally quite shit. So I never had, if I never had oversteer, I never went to the podium. I think because my race pace is shit, and then I lost it. Like my second stint, I lost it in not third stint, I lost it in Indianapolis, and then my car was broken. And yeah, if I repair it, it will cost a lot of time. So I retired.
Well, so we hope you definitely to see you around again for next season, maybe, or for maybe as a reserve for the remaining two races of this season. But I don't have anything to add. I don't know if you.
Yeah. No, me not.
Yeah, then in that case, thank you for your time, and we'll see you around.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Alphonse Velin, winner in LMP2. Alphonse, congratulations on your very first win here in NXT after the podium last week. Finally, the big win here at the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. How enduring was this race?
To be honest, it wasn't, because I was like cramping all the way at the end, and I had to rest my arms somehow. It was just draining.
Yeah, I
Of
definitely
energy.
believe that. Because we saw you in the pits quite early after summer, managing to pull out one more lap out of that LMP2 car. But, well,
Yeah.
it was still a win by, like, what, 80 seconds, so definitely a dominant and
Yeah.
deserved victory you had there. How did you manage that to be this quick and still make it work in the end with that one lap more you had on the pit stop?
I was practicing a lot, really. Since after Monza, I've been practicing, and thanks to Mohammed for giving setups, it helped a lot.
Yeah, we definitely saw that. It helped a lot. And 1-3 Hertz Team Jota. Very happy, especially since both cars will score points. So that will definitely. I think you might be very close to Prema now, maybe ahead. But well, maybe we'll see even a championship fight for the last two remaining rounds, because, well, Le Mans is double the points. And plus
hopefully.
the point for pole and the point for fastest lap, you'll definitely have caught up a lot. So one more thing, in qualifying, we had you had that final snap What
Yeah.
did happen there in the last turn?
I just didn't take the chicane properly. I just messed up completely.
Yes,
And I tried to not gain as much time as possible.
yeah, we somehow saw that the game didn't delete that lap time, interestingly enough, but it was still enough for a pole time of a couple of tenths. I think maybe was it seconds? Not entirely sure, but well, congratulations to that win. Very much deserved.
Thank you.
So I don't know if you have anything to add, but
No,
it was
not
fun.
really.
So then we'll see you around next time. And
Yeah.
well, go
Cheers.
celebrate that victory. And maybe the championship is still on.
Hopefully.
Okay. So the next one, Omar Ali himself. So Omar, a lot of congratulations, an absolute dominant victory once again, another Grand Slam I think, and both championships for you and Porsche Penske Motorsport in Hypercar, an absolute display of power. How was the race for you?
Pretty good. I wish it had rained. Or I might have changed my tire strategy a little if I had known it wasn't going to rain. But other than that, it was pretty chill. Nice Sunday drive, Monday drive.
Yeah, it was absolute display of power. In the first stages, the other cars we had like this train of 5 hypercars for the first couple of minutes, but then you started to pull away and then it was just completely over.
I think I definitely practiced in the lower temperature conditions. I think that's probably what helped me out a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a dominant victory either way. So, did you see what happened between the two Ferraris then on the final 20 minutes?
Unfortunately, I'm looking forward to watching it later.
Yeah, it was.
I did see it switch around a lot, though.
Yeah, they fought an awful lot, and then there was a miscalculation between a GT3. Well, two times actually. Yeah, I think we'll have a word with Mohammed, or we hear from Mohammed about that. But well, so theoretically, as I said, you could theoretically miss out on the final 2 rounds of the season and still would win by a very comfortable margin in the championship. All you needed today was 1 point, and well, you got the maximum amount of points. So congratulations on that. Very dominant, and we're definitely gonna have to see if we can find some people to match you in the next season.
I'll also drive a different car next season, probably to make it more fair.
We'll see that. Absolutely, thank you for your time. Go enjoy that victory.
Thank you.
And well, unless you got anything to add, we just bring on Isaac Busby. So, Isaac.
Hello.
Hello. Congratulations. What a victory. But I must ask, what happened in the final minutes with Corey Jason? We just saw the Lexus off the track.
Yeah. First of all, good racing from everyone in GT3. It was really fun. I didn't even know I was racing until I DM'd Kuismanen about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I didn't really do much practice. But yeah, Corey got some rear diffuser bodywork damage on the first lap after he got hit by the Lamborghini, and the Lexus is so unstable under braking. He just hit the curb the wrong way, and it just completely took him out. I feel quite lucky to win that, but I also feel like I bottled it pretty hard with the crash at the Porsche curves. But it was a good race.
Yeah,
Fun.
it was from a viewer's point. It was a bit boring in the middle, but we had the final GT3. We had that late incident and the first hypercar battle. It was an absolutely beautiful race to watch, and I think it must feel pretty good that after 2.4 hours, because even for real life drivers, that's a pretty long stint, and I think it must feel very good to finish such a race in P1.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a couple special and weekly events with the 2.4 hours, so I know the strategy, but it's just with this tire model and the GT3s, it's really hard to push the car, and you just have to drive it like 50% the whole, especially at Le Mans with Indianapolis and the Porsche curves. You just have to drive at 50%, hoping the car doesn't spin. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow when they fix the tire model. But yeah, thanks to you guys and thanks to Kuismanen for letting me race. I really enjoyed myself, and I'll be looking to see if I can find a BMW seat somewhere for the next couple races, or at least season 2.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that. You seem to have a lot of pace and definitely did enjoy that BMW more than the Peugeot hypercar, I think, from what I've seen. So,
Yeah, I really did not like that Peugeot.
fair enough. So, unless you got anything to add, then we bring on Mohamed Colombo.
That's just thank you guys for letting me race.
Or is that? Thank you for putting up a show and go enjoy your victory. So, Mohamed Colombo. So, Mohamed, obviously I must ask what happened there with the Porsche. I saw with the Ferrari, it was a mistake, I think, from the GT3 because it should have stuck to its line. But what happened there with the Porsche? I didn't quite see it.
Yeah, the Porsche, he seemed a bit inexperienced, so like he slowed down for the corner more than I expected, so I just couldn't really slow down anymore. So I just went into the back of him. I checked the replay. He was in third gear for the corner when normally you're in fifth or fourth. So
Okay.
just a miscalculation, I guess, on both of us. But
Okay.
came out with barely any damage though. So
Seemed fair enough. But after the first couple of laps, it seemed like you had the pace of Omar Ali, but then he just went off into the distance. What do you
Yeah,
think
to be
made him
honest,
so
it
much
was-
quicker than you?
I was just scared of the car, to be honest. For the push cars, like if I fuck up to like a little bit, I'm dead. So I'm just really tiptoeing around the entire race. So I'm just scared of the car.
Yeah, and you had some pretty nice fights with, in the beginning stages, Thomas Robert Ham in the Peugeot, but then I think he had to just stop the car because of no time, and then in the end with Norbert Precker, I think you seemed a bit more cautious. I thought it was maybe because you're already on 3 or 4 penalty points, and 5 would mean a 5 kilo increase, and no one really wants that. Will we see you in Hypercar next season? That is the question.
Thinking about it, but probably yeah. I'll run my beautiful dark red Ferrari livery. Of course.
Ah, fair enough. So, in that case, thank you. It's still a P3 at Le Mans, which is always nice, but, well, definitely didn't turn out the way you wanted, I think. So, then in that case, I don't think anyone is raising their hands. Last chance. Well, in that case, thank you guys for watching the stream. Thank you guys for racing here. It was a ton of... Oh, never mind. We have one more. Jasper Kuismanen. I'll bring it onto the stage. Hello, Jasper. So, the championship leader, at least coming into this round, I don't know if it's still the same. It will be a P4, I think, for you, because points-wise. Because the 183 won't score points. But,
Yeah,
well, what went wrong this race?
Man, it starts off in qualifying. I get a game glitch, makes me miss half of the qualifying. I have to reset pretty much everything. Then on my only lap, I get interrupted in sector 1. I'm sure you saw my mistake. It was because I had someone screaming into my ear right at the moment. It wasn't easy. So then I start in P6. I had a good start. I kept up with the leaders, and then I got into an incident, and after that, it was over.
Yeah, we kind of at least I kind of knew it wasn't. It never was your favorite track, but Portugal seemed like a good track for you. Do you think you can get back up to top at it? Because I think the gap between you and the number 28 Jota car of Alphonse Berlin is like now what 5 points or so.
5 points if my points are P5, but if it's P4, then it's like I don't know. I'm not sure. It'll be a bigger gap for me then if I score P4 points.
Yeah, but also that's a little. The fact that your teammate didn't finish did also not really help Prema, but after all, you have the two cars, and Health Team Jota only has one car, so I think if I was in Prema's, I wouldn't be too confident, but I would be still pretty confident that you have to have the what it takes to beat them this season. Also, I heard rumors from other drivers that we might see you in a different class next season.
Yeah, I don't really want to stay in the LMP2 cars. I want to make a step up, but honestly, I still got a lot to learn. As you can see from today's race, I can't be doing anything like this. For example, if I was in a hypercar, I still need to learn a lot.
Yeah, that is true, but well, I think you should definitely not be too hard with yourself because you still got Portimao, which I think it was a good track for you when we raced each other, and well, then Sebring, which will be difficult in an LMP2 car, no doubt about that. But well, we'll definitely see what the future holds for us and for you.
Yep.
So, in that case, if anyone wants to speak, raise your hands. If not, then we call it a day for the stream because we've been running for hours now. Okay, I think that's it. So, guys, thanks again for racing. Thanks again for watching. Absolute bang of a race, and we'll see most of you in the full season. For those of you who've come here for a special race, obviously you are free to join Next Step Racing to make the next two rounds at Portugal and Sebring if you want, or just stick around until season 2 rolls around with some changes. So, for that matter, I'll say goodbye and